Okay, it's plenty of them. But one is, you know it, brother.
Hold up. And the fact that you would even really ask me for an example, like, and I didn't want to chase their rabbit holes, but you asked me to give you one example of an anti-African sentiment that an FBA person puts out when Tariq Nasheed and others have all types of imagery and ideas and that distort people and or even use some versions that they think that. Okay, let me play it.
Ron, come on, man. You know the anti-African sentiments. We all agreed that it's going both ways. We just spoke about it.
I don't believe it's
any shot.
So then Ron saying he doesn't believe it's going both ways. So it's like I'm the victim. It's only coming this direction. And that's another thing that people do many times when they haven't healed from their trauma is they externalize blame on they externalize the blame. And I'm not saying that with the initial victim, because the initial victimizer. I am talking about people who remind them of the victimizer. They begin to externalize their troubles onto anything and everything to some degree because they're hurt. And I'm saying that in a real genuine way. So many times you externalize it and you can't see how you keep, like, for example, people have been, let's say, abused in different ways. And then they keep getting in relationship after relationship after relationship. And they find it very difficult. In these, let's say, abusive relationships, and find it very difficult to see what they are doing wrong that keeps them in these relationships, one. And two, how they also are part of the abusive reciprocity. Because many times that abuse is bi-directional. But you can only see what you, quote unquote, receive and not how you give it.
Any shots, all these headshots, all these extra exaggerated African features, and they ain't us, and none of us look like them. This is how they look. Now you know that there's people in Africa that look just like your cousin. Come on, man.
Wait, now hold on. See now see, here's the thing about that. When people say go both ways and things like that, we know that we have people that come in the name of FBA online, and they're not. They're out there starting trouble, starting beefs.
All right.
And the main click the link, and the link just disappeared.
Let's see if I can get to homeboy.
Nobody else had coach.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but I know. But I told him intellectually, because I like to go intellectual. I like having to come out on is this major. He envies her. Another. But we don't just sit around and think we taking from the white man. We feel like the white man owe us.
I think a brother about to come in now.
FBA who's saying, well, got their money.
We talking about gender wars now.
So now my thing is, we begin to throw more, like we begin to done. But my concern is, and this is where we will diverge, is that
I think it's coming.
I mean, where I would diverge a bit, maybe not, is that, we got to get that together and
intersect with the one that needs it. Make sure that we take care of self first.
I think it's a both and. I think it's a both and. Yes.
Okay, let me let's do this.
Put the mask on yourself.
Yeah, let's do this one. I think people think that airplane analogy works with everything. You know what I mean? And it's showing you. I'll just let me explain it here
first. Right. As I get older, I'm 42, but as a man, I'm starting to learn that you have to take care. Like, I got to be in good shape. My body got to be right. I got to take care of me so that I can go out here and work and get the money so I can take care of my family. Right. I got to make sure I'm able to operate at a certain level of vitality
before he takes care of.
Yeah, I don't think this is a plane going down. Though, I do think we might have some turbulence issues. You don't get the same instructions for turbulence. So I do get the analogy.
I'm saying that I don't think that our social relationships with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and in the continent can be seen as a plane going down, but it's more of turbulence. And so I'm saying that his analogy in and of itself is flawed. Now, okay, let's let it play.
But I don't agree with the analogy in this case. But I do what I would like the analogy that I would use is that many brothers.
Wait.
I mean, I'm gonna use brothers in this case.
Wait.
Many brothers feel like they gotta get their money right before they can actually spend time with their woman. I mean, literally, like, huh?
Hold up. Hey, can I jump in here right quick? Then I'm gonna drop down.
Here he comes, y'all.
Can you hear me, brothers?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, so I'm gonna drop down in a minute. I just want to say this right here, okay? But look,
this is what the other brother did earlier.
I hate what you're saying. I think that you're a PhD, man. I'm 59 years old, and I'm telling you right now, I just got to keep this real with you.
Bringing up degrees.
This stuff right here don't make no sense to me. If you don't understand what FBA is, and I'm from the South, bro, and I've lived in New York, I've been overseas, I've been a lot of places in my life, and there's no way. And I saw Afro think tank get on here.
Mm-hmm. They call the man Afro Stink Tank. See, that's not me, but they can't call the man Afro Think Tank. Call him Afro Stink Tank. That again is evidence of what you call negative sentiments. They're saying, what are we doing? And it's not going both ways. But throughout this show, even before I shared this with you, they've been calling the man a stink tank, like, like that.
Some things in the chat that's going FBA. You're being totally disingenuous. If you're not watching the onslaught of attacks at FBA across the board.
Yep.
It's the onslaught of attacks of FBA across the board. See, again, this is signaling hurt and pain. Some of it happens, and some of it is exaggerated due to unhealed trauma. So again, I want to be like, I do see it. I want you to know that I do see that that people have hurt you. They have hurt our people in America, the American Black people, those who you call foundational Black Americans.
I'm hearing you talking about right now that you're sitting in a college. I done been there. That you're sitting up in a college and you're seeing a particular woman talk about that Black men are smoking weed and they didn't do white men. Come on,
that wasn't at the college. That wasn't at the college.
That wasn't at college?
No, that was on my show last week.
Okay, well, on your show. I'm glad it wasn't at college. And by the way, you got a PhD in what now?
See, what's up? Hold up, y'all. What's up? What's up with that? Like, you see, they got the same moves. Dude came on earlier, like, what you got a PhD in? I'm like, bro. And I laugh at this guy here because I'm like, I actually answer him, but I laugh because they got the same tricks, man. They got the FBA University that teaches them apologetics. They got catechisms and apologetics. Let me put this link back in the chat for anyone who wants to come up. But this hurt and pain is real, y'all. It's absolutely real. And there is a need to have a trauma-informed approach to a great degree. But as I said the other day when Dr. Ball was here, I absolutely see this as warfare. Let me say, I see this as psychological warfare. That someone or an ideology has jumped in their bodies and their minds and taken them over. And they will die fighting for that belief. They have a serious and strong ideology. I don't underestimate what they will do as a result of that as a result of embodying that ideology. I don't underestimate what they will do as a result of the unhealed trauma that makes that ideology so easy to take on wholesale, and also deny that it is not ideology. And if you remember earlier, you have the brother Ron, and then you have the other brother. I think I didn't go through it completely, but what happened was, you can go listen to the whole clip. It's on my station. I think it's entitled, y'all saw the title. Dr. Daw pulls up on FBA or something like that, and had the school come in peace and had the school of old fool. Brother Cuz.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. You showing the people how you take care of yourself, huh?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. Well, we proud of you.
I appreciate that.
All right. So where was I? You all where was I before I stopped? Let's see here what we got here. Jeffrey, Brace 7, Richard. No. That is no interest to them. What is this? Jamaican government didn't have to put their embassy in the hood around FBA, but they chose to. Paying rent, FBA owned building. Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting. As I said, you can give all types of receipts, and the reality is receipts become triggers for the trauma.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't care about your goddamn receipts. You're not honoring my feelings. And that's what that becomes, right? It becomes, you're not honoring my feelings, because my feelings are the truth. And I think we should honor the feelings, but the healing process, it also requires us to become brave and to recognize that my feelings aren't always correct. And it's also essential to understand that when I feel a thing, and if I want to really heal and resolve issues within myself and within family and community and so on and so forth, it's essential that we become brave and look at the alternative, to look at things that dispute or may challenge my beliefs, and look at it in a real way. Be brave to do real research. Be brave to realize what I'm doing. And that's one of the things we have to be really clear on. When I am hurt and I'm dealing with certain levels of trauma, I'm not really happy. When there's unresolved trauma, you know where you are, and it is not working. And I know those who are identifying with FBA in this way, and that's a lot of them. And if it's not most of them, they're the loudest voices, and they're pervasive, are angry, they're hurt, and that's saddening. But it requires you to be brave to heal. In order to heal, we have to be brave. We have to know that in order to feel better, I have to begin to look at the world in a different way. I mean, just like one of the brothers on here said that he was a part of the manosphere. See, they'll go from one hate group to another hate group. You know what I mean? And what they said, one of the things they said in this particular episode is that they think, because I brought up this gender wars in the manosphere and so on and so forth, and what they shared was this, that they think that FBA is essentially helping them heal the relationships in our community. And I get what they're saying. What they're saying is we're coming together with, this is what they said. We're coming together with the women that we normally wouldn't sit down with. And the women who wouldn't sit down with us are coming together with us. And we're sitting down with those who are who have alternative ways of looking at gender and sexuality. And they say they said on this particular clip that they would have never done that before. See, but that's a fake way of healing. So what happens is it's kind of like somebody who says, look, I'm going to stop drinking alcohol, but then they start eating a lot of dessert. Or someone said, I'm going to put down the marijuana and I start picking up the bottle. And it happens so much that people put down one thing and pick up another. So they think that they put down, they heal that anger that's inside of them. And now they come together with their sisters, brothers, and those who identify in alternative manners, sexually and gender-wise. They think that they healed something. But what they've done is they redirected their energy to other bullseyes, to other dartboards. So they really haven't healed. They just redirected or their pain. Because when you haven't healed, you have to find a target for your pain many times, even if that's yourself. And the reality is always yourself. Because you don't like how you feel inside, but to help you feel good inside, you begin to externalize your pain and point the fingers at others. And what you do, all you need is a few examples to substantiate what you believe or what you really need to direct your anger somewhere so that you can take some of the pain out of you onto someone else. See, people have all types of strategies to deal with pain. Some people don't understand why people cut. People cut not because they want to kill themselves in most cases. They cut because they have a certain internal level of pain that they want to release that pain, so they have to redirect that pain somewhere else. So they're having social, emotional pain, so much so that they say, well, if I cut myself, it can release some of that pain. And it's not that the blood is coming out. That's one thing. But it's also that there's another form of pain that I can now focus on a bit that is more bearable. So it's almost like it's kind of like you picked up, you put down one drug and picked up another.
Yo, cuz, is hate bombing a concept that's out there? Like, you know, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about love bombing. And I'm like, it sounds to me a little bit more like hate bombing when you come together and bond over something that you can both agree to hate.
I'm certain there's a term for it. But that's, you know, I'm certain maybe someone's used it, but if not, we definitely can put that in the lexicon.
we can throw that in there.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
that's real. That's real. And I say that's what happened in this country, the United States.
Yeah. It's very American.
Yeah, it's very American. They were the hurt people from their destinations who came to this country and hurt everybody else.
Exactly. Right from the start, because most of them from England was coming out of, or maybe I can't say most, but a lot of them from England was coming out the jails and coming off the streets because the country itself was like, well, we ain't got nothing else for you. Y'all is a problem. We need to get rid of you.
Well, that's a major part of it. Then you also, that's definitely a major part of that we can't deny. Then also that there's people who actually were trying to escape religious persecution and work off their what is it called, their indentured servitude, and all these different things, you know. Whether not they identified it as hurt and pain, they were very oppressive conditions.
Right. And that's baked into the culture.
That's baked into the culture. Absolutely baked into the culture. So I'm gonna go back to homie real quick, and you jump in there when you need to, brother, because I appreciate the hate bombing. We might need to Google that tonight. Or Google
Word up.
Yes.
Word.
I just asked, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, bro. I'm not.
Okay, so he said he not trying to make fun of me. Again, I laugh because he asked me about my degree, what I got a PhD in.
Going to go at your stewardship or your scholarship. I just wanted to know what was your PhD in, and then I'm moving past that.
Just so ironic that the brother who called himself an FBA and said, you know, he asked the same question.
That's all. It was just a question. I'm not going to go into your PhD.
It's just a question, you know. He came in saying, "Oh, you supposed to be a PhD?" You know, all that earlier. You know, then he comes in, you know, yeah. So again, what does that have to do with anything? But here you go.
Nothing about are you smart. I just wanted to know.
On the psychological field.
Okay. All right. So this guy Afro think tank.
You see, he did it again. Think tank.
And I think you probably know who he is.
I don't.
All right. Afro so this guy, yeah. So this guy right here is very upset, and a lot of people is upset right now past that. That's all. It was just a question. I'm not gonna go into your PhD or nothing about are you smart. I just wanted to know.
On the psychological field.
Okay. All right. So this guy Afro think tank. And I think you probably know who he is.
I don't.
All right.
So his comrade, if I can say, I don't know if they're, you know, his comrade says he clears it up because he knows that he's playing on the words. Think, you know, like it also is indicative of the hurt and pain, the trauma, because when you see people that are operating at a childlike level, it's very clear that that's you know, where the trauma began on a societal level. The trauma, you know how they say you don't age past that trauma, or like if you went to prison, you know, all that type of thing. There's some reality around that, and people begin to be forever children, although they look like adults. So again, I'm saying that for whatever reason we are hurt, we'll find what one of my mentors called an opportunity. And the opportunity in this case is anything to blow our trauma through, anything to point the finger at, which, you know, you feel like you can be, I mean, yeah, just anything to point the finger at, rather than doing the internal work. And you can't give them enough evidence. And in many cases, like in psychotherapy, you don't just, you know, again, as the sister shared a few weeks, you don't just start flooding people with evidence. Now, I did not do that even when I went on to their station, because they say they shared so much misinformation. I did not say, well, that is wrong. Well, this is wrong. That is wrong. I had a specific agenda to go over there. One, you talked about me saying that I charge these people and I'm taking off the people, you know. That's how I jumped on. And two, I wanted to hold fast that my main major argument that FBA is a identity category created, and I'll be clear, by people like Tariq Nasheed, created by Tariq Nasheed, which has an ideology that supports the reasoning for the identity, and also the people who subscribe to this term many times, no, they embody this stuff. Some of them don't. The people who fight for it and say, well, it's just some of the people are really honest. They're like, they just don't know that there's a lot of foolishness going on, because they heard somebody say it and they say, well, FBA is just a lineage, and it's just saying that we're different than these groups of people. And a lot of us, you know, we were like, yeah, I think even Cuz was like, yeah, okay, I can get that part. let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, if that's just it, I might even subscribe to the term. But the reality is, when you go to Tariq Nasheed's website and you listen to all these people on these platforms and all these different places who say they're not anti-African, they're definitely anti-Pan-African, as I shared. And even in this video somewhere, I'm not sure if I passed that point yet. They're like, okay, yeah, do you know why we anti-Pan-Africanists? So there's a real ideology behind it. But there's also some differences when you don't know the talking points. Like the brother here, and Ron was very clear. Like, look, we don't, I don't subscribe to the idea that is more than a lineage with an identity. The brother's like, okay. He said, well, look, I think all lineages, all identities have some cultural accoutrements and all these things, he said. So he agreed that there's an identity is necessitated as a result of some need, that there's some political or some ideological necessity for, as it relates to certain people who want to subscribe to these frameworks. But nonetheless, I'm just saying that there's a difference in people's understanding about whether there's an identity with an ideology. Even I put out a post one time, even with some of our triggered brothers and sisters who've been triggered by FBA. I'm like, well, FBA is an identity with an ideology, and people start, oh, they just think I'm FBA because I said that. But what they didn't understand is that is FBA's number one talking point. It's just a lineage. Mr. Big Daddy Tariq Nasheed, it's just a lineage. It's not an organization like these fools are saying. All that type of thing. The quick talk, the slick talk. I mean, the fact that your leader is a pimp is also indicative of hurt people, because hurt people want people who look like they have power, not really possess power, but you want to be a part of a group that will protect you or look like they're going to protect you. And we all want protection to a degree. We want protection. But when you've been hurt, it's easier for you to sign up for some interesting groups that mislead you into believing that they will protect you. I think I see a lot of Dennis Assault Winkler. Let's see what they say. Dr. Dennis Assault Winkler. It is not hurt or pain. It is more than that. Well, okay. All right, let's keep going. It is hatred. So much so that they co-sign a white man calling another black man a slur. Well, I mean, hatred, hurt people hate. I mean, I get, it's a lot of emotions going on there. I never denied that it's, it's a lot of emotions we could add on. You're right. We can say it's more than even what you just said. And it's so much. It's complex. And pain is complex. Let's see here. DJ Biggs. Any people on this earth has not healed. Every loved one died and never have healed. Stop focusing on one group. Hispanics, Asians, Japanese, Caribbeans, Africans, Europeans, Greeks, etc. need healing. Bro, I'm focusing on my people. You got what I'm saying? Why can't I focus on my people? Why am I focusing on Japanese who haven't healed will drop a bomb on your head? And they'll be more likely to do so because you're fragmented within yourself and fragmented within the African black race. Why would you want me to take you off the screen for a while, cuz? Or you good? You good? Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take you off until you. Oh, you say take you off?
You don't have to. I'm good.
Okay, cool. All right. So, can I focus on my people? Just because I don't subscribe to the term FBA, don't mean that they're not my people, and that they're not hurting and they're not infighting with other aspects of my people. Why do I have to focus on Asian people when I know they will hurt you? When I know Europeans will hurt you? Why am I trying to go over there when my people are here? DJ Biggs, help me out. You know what I mean? Like, see, again, that's another argument that makes no sense. Talk about the video link I sent you with the sister, Mr. K says. Oh man, Mr. K, you be giving me duties. I think the sister, Mr. K, you could put the information in the chat. I don't recall it so much, but I do recall that she did a wonderful job of breaking down. I can't remember what it was, Mr. K. Honestly, if you have to kind of remind me, I remember she was talking about a topic, and it was very similar. But I will say this: have y'all seen that this link that the FBA like pushing their chest out about? So yeah, we made it to the mainstream. We on, what is it, NBC or ABC they were on, and they had somebody's mama up there who wrote, I guess she wrote a book, or I don't know, she created a website or something. And basically, I'm assuming when she went to NBC or ABC, she said, make sure you use the word foundational Black American. That's my thought. I think she said, make sure you use this term, FBA, because we're talking about foundational Black Americans. And the news anchor said foundational Black American, they all about lost their minds and said, I told you. Just like the brother earlier. No, we are in scientific journals. Do you know about scientific journals? That's what he asked me. I'm like, bro, why are you asking me these questions? Like, and I'm trying to be kind to my dear brother. You know, like he's really trying to like suplex me, but he suplexed himself a few times. Like, brother, please bow out. Brother, cuz said he did something with his tongue. He slapped himself in the face with his own tongue or something like that. And so it's like they thought that they won this big war or something. Like, yeah, we made the ABC, and so did the group that you hijacked. And maybe this is what it was, Mr. K. Is that what it was, Mr. K? You know, they hijacked ADOS, and ADOS is all over the map. I keep telling y'all, if you want to be a part of one of these delineation groups, if I had to choose, right? If I had to choose, like y'all know, y'all say that you got to choose the Democratic or the Republican. If I had to choose, it would have to be ADOS, African Descendant of Slavery. I wouldn't choose, just like I don't necessarily choose the Democratic or the Republican just because someone said I have to. But somebody's jumped in, but nonetheless, ADOS would be a better choice if you want to be successful. But the problem is, Mr. Nasheed is real good at making you feel like you're your own man. See, a lot of people is hurt. They want to let you know, I put my pants on one leg at a time, like you. So Tariq knows that you don't want you. He want to trick you to believing that you ain't being tricked by him. He want to make you believe that you are utilizing your own mind, although he told you what to do. Ain't that some stuff? And you believe it. And because he says that, yeah, Tariq ain't our leader, but then in a verbatim sense, articulate every one of his talking points, sometimes better than he does. I bet you all have pulled these talking points together so well that Tariq listens to y'all to kind of remember them. But again, all right, again, this is about healing. This is not about, it's, again, the laugh is because this is bizarre. It's not because, like, I would never laugh at your condition, because the condition is serious. It's really serious. And I'm being real serious. The condition is serious. And I'm hurt that people are manipulating you. I'm hurt that you're being manipulated and you believe you signed up for it rather than being co-opted into it due to someone playing on your trauma. I'm hurt by that you believe that you're making your own decisions, that you believe that you're thinking your own thoughts. I'm hurt by that. I'm hurt by the fact that you are in such a hyper aroused, hyper alert, hypersensitive state that anything that looks like African, sounds like African, becomes a trigger to you. You know? And all of it doesn't have to do anything with your experiences with Africans. Some of it has been created through social media. So again, when you say that, why don't I go and do things with these other people, Japanese and white people and all these people who are also hurt? Yeah, that people got to do that. I mean, that's not my job. I'm obligated now, at least my mission, my obligation is to my people. All of my people. My obligation is to the healing of my people. And you are a part of it. Those who subscribe to the term FBA, you are my people. I'm just not a part of that subgroup. I am, if I had to use the term in the way you operationalize it, he said it's he said it's a definition. No, it's a term, and then you operationalize it and define it. That's what the brother was brother earlier. I mean, look, he came on kind of nice, say he was a fan for something or something like that. Didn't sound like he didn't. You didn't look at none of my videos because you were asking me about population versus sample size and and all these type of things. You know what I mean? He thought he was gonna come. He thought he was gonna whip me with his master's degree. You hear me? My man thought he's gonna look. He thought he's gonna come in there and whip me with his master's degree, my dear brother. We got another person from the West Coast. I'm getting scared of y'all West Coast people, man. I think I'm assuming it's West Coast. It says Golden State. I'm a little afraid Golden State. Boy, the West Coast, y'all West Coast. I ain't gonna lie, our West Coast brothers and sisters, y'all be coming on here and showing up, man. I'm trying to tell you. Like the sister I kept whatever earlier, she said I'm a fraud. Oh God. Oh my God, the pain that we have. That you would say something about me and you don't know me. Like, I mean, look, you don't even have to know me. Let me just keep like, what do you know about me? Like, in fact, you couldn't have done enough research if you said I'm a fraud. You just couldn't have. Like, tell me what did I do? Tell me what did I do? All right, Golden State. I'm gonna bring you up. I'm gonna keep in mind. I don't know how this is gonna look. I'm gonna bring you up, but keep in mind that we need to keep this respectful. And I am just being upfront. If we start going all over the place and regurgitating talking points without handling them one at a time, and you start going off uncontrollably, we're going to end it. So let's do it. Golden State, what it is?
How you doing, brother?
Peace, brother.
Yeah, I'm not FBA, bro. I am Black American.
You started off with a brother.
Yeah, I'm Black American of African descent of African, Black American, African American. I do not agree with FBA. Matter of fact, early on, I was with FBA because they were talking about reparations. Mm-hmm. It sounded good, right, early on, but then it started to become xenophobic, and that's where I was like, yeah, I don't have any problems with Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, or Africans. I get along with them all the time. I belong to a boxing community known as the Lions Den Boxing Community, the LDBC. we have Nigerians, we have Jamaicans, we have people from East Africa, Eritreans, Somalians in our community as well. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of other folks from Guyana. So, and you know, mostly Black American, but we just root for Black fighters and support Black fighters, right? So we don't have this kind of xenophobic ideology. And it is what happens is that what happened early on, right, is that it started off with FBA. What they would do is they would see videos, especially of Black British, right, from overseas, being disrespectful, saying something disrespectful about Black Americans. So there has been disrespect coming from different parts of the diaspora. But instead of isolating those people and saying that person is a moron, right, saying that person's an idiot or ignorant, right, they say all of these Caribbean, because they know that the Black people and the Black people in Great Britain, right, or in the UK, that they are either Caribbean descent or they are either African, right? And because of that, so what happens is they just start generalizing. There will be someone who's Nigerian, who are the first generation Nigerian, would say something disrespectful to Black Americans. They say, see, all the Nigerians hate us. See, all the Jamaicans hate us. See, all these Caribbean folks, all these tethers, they hate us. And they would just parrot it and repeat it and put it on loop, right? And they would look, they search for someone from the diaspora to say something negative about Black Americans. And they have this dude overseas who interviews people in Great Britain, and he asks them questions, and they said, well, how come Black Americans don't know where they're from, right? And not having a better understanding, instead of taking the time to explain. And he's pseudo himself because he says that we are Aboriginal, indigenous to this land. And instead of telling them that, and they'll say, no, you are you come from Africa. And he'll say, no, we've always been here, right? And so they have a mixed messages. Some of them believe that they descend from Africans. Some of them believe they descend from Africans and these mythical Black indigenous people that you cannot find nowhere in history, right? And so I tried being reasonable with these people, but they're just flat out disrespectful and angry right away. If you don't agree with their talking points, which they parrot Tariq Nasheed point for point, where your hairline from? Look at your hairline. Let me see your hairline. Where your grandparents from? Where your parents from? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Every talking point out there, you a tether. They called me a tether today. I actually did a live stream today that wasn't even meant to even go in that direction. But one of the FBA dudes came in and he started being disrespectful right away. I was like, no, I said, man, we don't do that in our community, but we don't hate other Black people. I actually think dividing up or trying to, reduce the Black population in America is stupid. And I mean, that who that helps? That helps white people. Why would we try to get rid of Black immigrants to have a smaller population just so we can allow white people to grow their population while ours shrinks? That's that's insanity. White people are trying to bring in more Europeans. We're trying to get rid of the Black people that came in here. That doesn't make any sense. Absolutely. On top of it, it doesn't make any sense because we've already been mixing with these people, right? We've already mixed with Afro-Latinos. We've already mixed with Afro-Caribbeans and Africans, and we're already intertwined. If you go to places like Texas, where I'm from California, but my grandparents and most of my family is actually in Texas. My parents are first generation. I'm second generation California, right? And so if you go to places like Texas, Black Americans are already married to Nigerians. Black Americans are already married to people from the Caribbean. If you go to Florida, the same thing. Matter of fact, in Florida, it's even different, right? It's even more mixed up because you got Black people who are mixed with Haitian, Black American, Jamaican, Barbadian, right? And it may even have some Panamanian or some Dominican or whatever, right? So this ideal that you're going to break up the same things going on in the Northeast as well, people are already mixing. So what are you delineating from? How are you going to delineate from people that we already started families with and already reproduced in multiple generations now? It doesn't make any sense. By the way, genetically, we are related to those people in the diaspora as well. So the genetic distinction is basically indistinguishable. Basically, the genetics are saying that we're the same people genetically. The differences come from culture. And reality is we need to be having conversations about and do cultural exchange and also get an understanding. The reason we have these diaspora wars online because we really don't know each other and we really need to get to know each other. So let's just be respectful to one another instead of being angry.
Oh yeah. You bring up a great point, right? But let me let me share something.
Okay,
And
I got you.
show you how the talking points so Eurocentric.
You mean undermine? Yeah, they got right wing, alt right, white supremacist talking points.
Right. So when you see here, I don't know if y'all can see that, but let me see if I can do it through the whole screen. Hold on. Can y'all see this? How can I do this? Where's the other one at? Is this it? No, that's not it. But where is it at? All right. So anyway, this is a video. I'll see if I can make it larger. It's just a little bit more because I got it blown up already, but I can't find the right slide. So anyway, so one of this video that I did the other day, you all should go and check it out. I mean, it has people upset because I showed African American Caribbeans. I showed the sentiments from the different groups, and it showed, and the research supports that Caribbeans show a stronger sense of solidarity in our
they're aligned with us.
Yeah, in our direction than we return it. And it also shows that over time, Caribbeans and Africans, their sentiment increases, their alignment and their solidarity and feelings of closeness and all. And then people are saying things like, so this guy here, Kareem Sharif, says, okay, so it's personal with you. You're married to a Jamaican. FBAs don't feel close to Caribbeans. And let me back up and say, well, maybe you don't say all. They say they don't say all, but when you make statements like this, like FBAs don't feel close to Caribbeans, you just said all. You just made a blanket statement. You made a blanket statement for all of us. You made the blanket statement that Foundation Black Americans, which you say I'm a part of, I think the 42 or 52 million that you suppose that you are trying to co-opt into your movement, which doesn't exist. FBAs don't feel close to Caribbeans, it says, but then also saying this is personal with you. In other words, it's kind of like saying, oh, you're married to it's so crazy. I told my wife about maybe 7-8 months ago. It's almost like saying, oh, for those who are in a strong Pan-African, strong nationalist type of perspective, strong race people, and then they marry a white woman or whatever. It's almost like they held me accountable to that type of standard because I have a Jamaican wife. I thought I would never see that day. Like hold up. So now, because it's personal to me, it's personal to you because you're married to a white woman. Now, my wife is that's what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean?
No, a lot of them are, brother. And I'm trying to tell you for real. And like I said, we were talking about earlier about people being in your family, right? My cousin is half Congolese. My cousin just had a baby and has a husband who's from Belize, right? I have relatives in my family who are Puerto Rican, who are Afro-Cuban, right? Who are Nigerian, right? And I'm talking about in the South. So I don't have this kind of. Some of y'all need to get a passport, man, and go see some of these places. Go travel to other Black countries or where Black people are at. If you go to Central America, go to the Caribbean coast and see that these people, they like you, man. I'm trying to tell you, y'all think they hate Black Americans. They don't. These people, they like you, bro. Y'all need to get a passport and, man, go see your people out here. They like you.
Yeah, we don't do good reasoning, and we don't, and in fact, they look up to you, right? And I'm not saying people ain't hating on you. I ain't saying some people ain't a little jealous, but none of that. But in general, they're looking up to you. They're saying, wow, these African Americans are some real serious people or what have you. But let's listen to this a little bit closer. It says, I'm gonna reread it. Okay, so it's personal with you. You're married to a Jamaican. So I'm showing stats that are accurate, that are supported because I'm married to a Jamaican. Okay. FBAs don't feel close to Caribbeans. Although I just did it in a video and broke it down in short form for those who can't look at the long videos like we have going on today. And then it says, but I'll offer you this. when the Olympics came around, Caribbeans root for each other against Black Americans. Now, okay, hold up. Now, this is what? Like, okay. Like, are you serious? And what I'm saying, this is indicative of the hurt. You're telling me that Caribbeans can't root for other Caribbeans against Black Americans when I can root for my Ravens against the Philadelphia Eagles, or vice versa, or or I can root for my son's football team over the next school's football team? like what are you talking about here? What are we talking about? This is no secret, he says, or he or whoever. And if an African wins something, the Caribbeans root for the African. Now, I don't know where they get the data from, but never for the Black Americans.
Bro, they must hate Noah Lyles, right? They must hate Noah Lyles because his wife is, his fiance is Jamaican.
I have no idea who Noah Lyles is.
No, Noah Lyles is he's a gold medal sprinter, 100-meter track star. Yeah, track star, right? Won the gold medal in the last Olympics, and his fiance is Jamaican.
And I want to go back to the hurt. See, again, the dead person, I can't remember who said it earlier, but it is a serious level of hurt here. Just listen to the pain. This is no secret. And if Africans win something, the Caribbeans root for the Africans. They don't root for us. But never the Black Americans. They never root for us. Like, literally, this is what you put out here as your evidence. And like, what are you talking about? Like, I know so many Caribbeans that root, like, literally saying that they don't root for African American athletes at some point in this thread. The Caribbeans root for the Africans, so the Caribbeans choose Africa over the African American athletes, but never the Black Americans. In fact, they hate on the Black Americans in track. So again, like, the reality is, when I think I put here, let me just put my reply. I said I root for African American athletes.
Same here, bro. When it comes to USA, you know what I do? When it comes to track and field, right? I really root for Black people. But at first, if they part of our ethnic group, I'm gonna root for the Team USA as long as it's Black. Once we get to the long distance, I'm rooting for the Kenyans and the Ethiopians. I'm sorry. If Black Americans aren't in the final, I'm gonna root for whoever Black. So I'm probably gonna be rooting for Jamaicans.
Me too. But the problem with that is you got a bunch of Caribbeans on the U.S. team.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
So it's like what are we talking about here? Like you just said when you came in, good brother, and when you came in, you said it's all mixed up. You talking about the Olympics when a lot of the Olympic athletes are from these islands and other places. Like you like the American athletes. I root for African American athletes. Okay, my wife and I can, like, although we don't, like, I can give her look, I want the African American. Although honestly, I'm with you. I root for Black athletes. I don't care. I think I even said here at some point, like, I don't care who the boxer is. If the boxer is fighting someone else of a different persuasion, I'm rooting for that Black boxer
all day.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that Black boxer. But again, they're gonna say that's too general. Look, first of all, look, I'm from Baltimore. I don't even look at boxing because I think it's a little rough. I used to look at it, but now I'm like, I'm doing. But even with that, I'm going to root for Tank Davis. I'm going to root for my man Tank, not because he's a boxer or Black,
because he's Black.
A Black boxer from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. And yes, hometown. You root for the soil.
For him every time.
Yeah, you rooting for the soil. Yeah. You rooting for the soil. Like, guess I root for Devin Haney. Yes. Devin Haney from my city. So, but whenever they fight different people, when they fight somebody non-Black, you know how it is. It's Absolutely. All day. I don't care, even if I don't even like the boxing. Like, there's certain boxers that I don't like, but when they fight somebody non-Black, you absolutely right. I'm siding with the brother every time.
You're right. So even like if I look at the NFL, I don't even look at the NFL. But if I see it and they say, well, these two teams are going, and they say, oh, look, they got a Black coach.
Black coach with a Black quarterback?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to go, like, that's going to instantly be my next team because I don't look at football. My Jamaican wife is behind me hiding, looking like I can't see her. What's up, baby? How you doing? Because we talked about this topic right now. We talked about the very topic that someone said that. What did they say? They said, what did they say? They said that I am biased pretty much. That's what they said.
Oh no. What happens? This is how I see it, brother. You married a sister. That's all that matters to me, bro. That's all that matters. I don't care where she comes from.
So I can't marry a white lady for you. Hold on. Let's go back. I can't marry for you. I can't marry someone unless they're a sister.
Me neither, brother.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh no, I can't marry nobody unless they're a sister.
I'm saying, so if I married a white lady, how would you feel about that?
Oh man, I'd be like, oh bro, really, bro? Come on, man.
But that's how I'm treated, though. That's how I'm saying they treat that. They treat that you marry a Jamaican sister like you didn't marry a white woman. That's what I told them earlier, babe. I told them earlier that they're acting like you married a white woman or something. See, use a. Let me read it. Let me read it. It's so much pain in our community. It says here, okay, so it's personal with you. The data that I put out that says the feelings of Afro-Caribbeans, Black Americans, and Africans. So I put out an evidence-based video for this person just to come back and say, okay, so it's personal with you. You married a white woman. No, that's not what they said, but that's the type of thing we would say. Oh, so you a sellout because you married a white woman. So you giving all types of passes and like now, of course, I'm with you. I feel like it's my political obligation. Now, I'm not saying for everybody else, but I am saying as a Black man, it is my political obligation to marry a Black woman. And then
that makes two of us.
Okay, it says this is no secret. And they're talking about the Africans win again. This is the hurt. I'm talking about the hurt. Look, somebody said it earlier. I can't remember their name, but yeah, we can talk about the hate and the vitriol and the hostility and the anger and all those things. But I do want to go back to let you know that this hate is coming from a hurt place, and maybe you can have some empathy for our dear brothers and sisters because they're not our enemies. They are just hurt. They're lost. They're not seeing things clearly. And I don't want us to begin to have the feelings that they are. Now, understand, you can have empathy for them, but no, when you caught the rabies or you caught an ideology, people will try to hurt you. I'm saying try to usher them into freedom like Harriet Tubman. You got what I'm saying? Try to usher them into freedom. And we don't usher them into freedom by taking and attacking them. Because my goal is not to further hurt my brothers and sisters, because I know it's coming from a place of hurt, disappointment, trauma. And it's before they met the first African or Caribbean. Many times it started in their childhood. And so you have to externalize it. We have a lot of things that have happened in our community. So understand that a lot of us, if we go unhealed, we find a way to release that trauma. So again, I say, I root for African-American athletes. I root for the Ravens, though I don't even watch football. I root for my son's school and for him when he ran track. I root for my hometown, though I don't have an issue with other cities. I don't. I said, this is normal human behavior. And like many of us, when a Black athlete is competing against someone from another race, we often root for them regardless of what town or country they're from. That's pride, not hostility. And then I guess Kareem comes back and said, that's not what I'm talking about. See, Kareem, through the hurt and pain, can't see. Jamaicans root against Black American athletes. This is well known in track. They prefer anyone to win as long as it's not Black Americans. I've noticed this for decades. Okay. I don't know what I mean, okay. I mean, and then another thing I think we have to do as Black American people is realize, look, yeah, when you are doing things right and when you are some of the innovators of things, sometimes people hate on you, just like your cousins hate on you when you do some things, just like your own sisters and brothers. They love you, but they be hating on you sometimes. that Negro always doing something. Oh, that such and such. Oh, there they go again. They got a new car, or they got a new house, or they got a new wife, or they mad because you got a wife or a husband or somebody and they don't. There's a pain that this society creates. It creates a certain level of hating, hurt from the hurt and pain and the disappointment in oneself. So again, when I'm disappointed in myself, the way that I relieve myself is by externalizing it on someone else or another group. So again, Kareem saying, I'm saying, oh no, I say this to Kareem. Kareem, I'm saying I do the same thing on various levels. I've seen Jamaicans root for Jamaicans and other Black athletes at different times with a special pride for those from home. That's normal human behavior. The Jamaicans I know are Ravens fans and fans of athletes like Ray Lewis, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Tyson, Kobe Bryant, Simone Biles, and many others. Your anecdotes don't match my own experience. That's why I rely on research in addition to personal stories when talking about group behavior. Personal experience matters, but it is not the same as evidence of patterns. I don't know what I'm not going to. Okay, this is the last one. So, Kareem, I'm saying, what happened? I don't know how I'm saying I do the same thing. Okay, I think I might have pasted it twice or something like that. But nonetheless, my dear brother, you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here, bro. Okay. Yeah, I like I said, I don't get it, man. Like I said, y'all gonna be mad, bro, because the Black people, Black Americans are going to continue to marry other people from the diaspora and for the continent of Africa. I mean, y'all, I don't know what you're trying to delineate from, because there's a lot of Black Americans living on the continent married to Africans. There's a lot of Black Americans in America married to Africans. There are Black Americans who live in Central America married to Africans. There are Black Americans who live in the Caribbean married to Caribbean folk. And I don't know how y'all. What are you trying to delineate from? How you gonna delineate from that? Because there's a lot of like multi-ethnic Black people running around in America and around the world now. So how do you delineate from people? So what you gonna do? You're gonna start discounting them because according to FBA rules, right? Those people are FBA if they're half FBA, according to y'all. So how you guys gonna be dealing with this with all these multi-mixed people? So they got to be half. What if they're a quarter? What if they're a quarter? What if they have one grandparent who's quote unquote FBA? How does this work, y'all?
Yeah, you're doing a lot of reasoning, and see, even a trauma-informed approach that becomes flooding. You're giving a lot of things to consider at one time. I'm saying you are. I mean, but I think these things are to be considered. Really, let me go back to this this video. I want to close this video clip out. You can hang around or you can drop off, whichever one you want to do.
No, I said I'm gonna say a couple more things and go ahead and drop on, man. Because I listen to you a lot, and I think that you're doing really, really good work. And I think that it's important for us to have panels where we have, Black people from the diaspora, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, and I bring this up, right? I said a lot of times we always leave out Afro-Latinos. We always use talk about Afro-Caribbeans, Africans, and and Black Americans, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we can't forget them. We can't forget our brothers and sisters from Brazil, from Colombia, right? Yeah. As well. And on top of that, with the continental Africans. So we need to talk. We need to do cultural exchange. We need to talk about our differences and some of the misunderstandings that we had with one another, right? Because a lot of it comes from because we don't know each other. It's important that's why we need to do cultural exchange and have conversations. And I think if we can present that, because somebody may come along, you may not get everybody, but somebody will come along and see that live stream like, whoa, wait a minute. I've been told that all Afro-Latinos, all Afro-Caribbeans, all continental Africans hate African Americans, right? So, and now, go ahead.
I just want to say that you've heard people say all. Then I also want to say there's also those who say we're not talking about all, although viscerally they feel like all. But again, they won't say, oh, they saying all. We never said all. Well, you do say all when you just make these sweeping generalizations. Then you'll say we never said all. But when you make these sweeping generalizations, that is the same as saying all, or most, or too many.
Yes. If you say Caribbeans, right, instead of just saying some Caribbeans, right? Because I try not to, when I'm speaking about people, right, where I have somebody say something disrespectful to us, to our ethnic group, right? I point out that individual, that I isolate that person. I don't put it on the whole ethnic group. Okay, this person's the problem, because we have problematic people in our own ethnic group. And the one thing I brought up, and I've been bringing up, I said, we seem to have what I would call is a raccoon epidemic going on. And it seems to be something that's very popular to be nowadays, right? A lot of black people who like to disrespect and sell out black people on behalf of massa. And I'm tired of those people, right? And I'm sorry, FBA, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but because I'm gonna be nice. I'm nice on this brother's platform. You know what I'm saying? When I was on TikTok and I tried to be respectful to y'all would just try to bite my head off right away, and I just crash out right there with you. And that's when I told you guys that you guys are part of a internet coon cult. So that's what I would say on TikTok. But this brother's trying to give you a chance. He's trying to meet you where you are, and trying to he's trying to get you guys to, hopefully you guys can see the problems here and get out of that, because it would be in the best interest for Black America if you guys were to get out of this mindset, because this is a trap. This is the road to nowhere. It doesn't benefit you. You guys don't seem to have any other type of plan other than just being anti-Black that aren't Black American. That's what it seems like. I'm just telling. I've been waiting for you guys. I don't hear you guys even talk much about reparations anymore. You guys, the only thing you do is spend all your time online disrespecting other Black people. And you guys try to come up. I never see you guys making any type of positive content.
He's saying a great amount of time disrespecting Black people. We don't want to get caught in their all trap. Okay.
No, we don't. No, right. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I don't want to do it, but I've seen the majority, and at least in my anecdotal evidence. Let me do that, because that'll be more academically correct. In my anecdotal evidence, in my anecdotal worldview, from what I've seen of you guys on multiple social media outlets, in anecdotal evidence, because I haven't spoken all there, but you guys seem to be very, very Go ahead.
There is some evidence that is that's quantitatively supported that says that they spend a major amount of their time doing so, starting with ADOS.
Yes, basically FBA for the most part is ADOS that mutated into something worse. That's basically what it was. So you got ADOS, it's FBA, and then it's this other group called Solon. Have you heard of them?
I heard the dear brother speak about that the other day, and I've been trying to figure out the spelling of that word.
SOULAAN.
Hold on. SOULAAN. AAN. Okay. Yeah, because
that's a three. It's all three of them.
SOL. I'll figure it out. But yeah.
It's soul. So it's soul. SOUL.
Okay. So
AAN.
SOULAAN.
Yes.
Is this one newer or older?
Yeah, this is newer, right? They're a bunch of younger, or shit, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Black Americans who are trying to rebrand themselves as something else. Some of them decided to pick up this cut to knees as well, right? So yeah, and they're trying to isolate themselves from the rest of the diaspora, because they don't believe that we have a language, even though Black English is considered to be its own dialect, right? And so they have some of the same, from what I've seen. I want to let her know it's anecdotal evidence. If you go on TikTok, if you go on IG, but they're mostly on TikTok, right? They also tend to be very, very ahistorical and also anti-immigrant as well, right? So they also have bought into the Black Indian narrative, which is absolute garbage, right? So yeah, you'd have to go check them out, man. It's three of them. It's not just ADOS. Adolf is, remember, Adolf is the parent, is the parent, or I should say Adolf is the grandparent. FBA would be the parent, and I would say that Solon is the child.
I appreciate how you're breaking these things down. Something you came in telling me that I wasn't even familiar with. I can't recall what it was, but definitely I appreciate it. Anything else before you rock and roll?
No, that's it, man. Thanks for letting me come on, brother. Appreciate it. And thanks. I'll be in the chat room listening, and keep doing the good work. Like I said, we need more intellectuals, and I'm very, very proud of my Black Americans who are college graduates who read books, who have gone through the process of studying and to get the hardware and to put in the work to try to improve the community. So I just want to give you a big shout out to that. Much appreciated, and I appreciate you a lot.
Likewise, brother. It was a pleasure of meeting you on this platform.
You have a great day, brother.
You as well.
And likewise.
Likewise, peace. So let's get back to this. Am I sharing my screen still? I think I'm still sharing my screen. Yeah, I am. All right, let's get back to this. I'm going to close it out on this stretch. It's going to start to. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all, but did you hear the brother who came on early and told me it's a lineage, but he can't really tell me where I'm wrong, and he started to ask these questions to try to trip me up, but he tripped himself up, but and I don't mean to laugh, but you should hear the deep conviction in this brother's voice as he said that. I mean, it's coming from a serious place, and it's scary because he's serious about this thing, man. He said, "This is really a lineage, bro." Like he's serious. Look. Hold up. I don't know how he. Hold on. How do I lost it. Did, did I play this part already? 'Cause I think I skipped forward. What? Why is he? Okay, think about it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm, I'm trying to figure out how he got there. This is really a lineage, bro. This is really a lineage, bro. So now he start using the anecdote. So now this is a move that people do, right? I'm talking about often. This is what people do in general. Like if you're dealing with a man, let me use a man because I'm a man, and he tells you something about women that is negative, and then he'll start trying to substantiate his data that women are all this or all that by his experience. And when you pull people into your own experience, it's done so in a way that you can't really challenge what they're saying, because then that will be kind of disrespectful. That will be seen as, how you telling me about my own reality, especially in this particular place we find ourselves in, where people's feelings have been disrespected. So we make a lot of space for feelings. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, but it doesn't mean that it's not real. And you hear people often saying, my feelings, they're my feelings. Okay, they're your feelings. And this is your experience. And sometimes people be lying about their experience, but maybe he's not. But the reality is that doesn't make it a reality. But when you say these type of things from your own personal experience, it's kind of like it's a showstopper, supposedly. Now, I'm not one of those people that let people speak from their own experiences and challenge their experience. I'm just going to challenge it on a different level. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I can't remember what happened here, but my dear brother, he had a lot of pain in him. So again, he's bringing up school again. This guy came in talking about, are you supposed to be a PhD or something? Then he asked me what my PhD is in. And then now he's talking about, now earlier, if you recall, see, this is the manipulation that goes on. And sometimes hurt people, they're so used to survival strategies that it's almost like they're on autopilot when they're fighting. Like they don't even have to think about it. They're so good at it. He tried to build the whole case. He started off talking about my degree. Then he went into ask me what degree I have a degree in, that he's not going to clown me for having a degree or try to disqualify my education. And then this is where we land. Do I need to go to school for that? So again, there's a certain level of trauma, it sounds like, around education going on. And again, I get that because this society has us looking at each other in very class level ways, or hierarchical ways that, to me, is understandable that a lot of people have been hurt by that. But again, I'm not one of those people that push out paper or push out degrees and push that forward. In fact, he brought it up. I don't know how many times, but let's see how many more times he does. Why would he need to do that? Why? You see, again, that's what I'm saying. I'm not chasing every fight. I mean, I could have said, why would you need to do that? You know, like, why would you even think I would say that? So I asked him, what is his point? And listen to what he says. He gonna push it back. I was literally being genuine about the point. Like, yeah, but also trying to keep us on track. So now he says, now we say the same thing, which is a defense, a defense mechanism, is a defensive tactic. So we, instead of, answer my question, he wants to now turn it back on me. I asked him the question. I said, no, he didn't answer my question, but mine was a genuine question. I want to know, what point are you making with this information? So we said the same thing about you, and that's how people stay in these arguments and these backs and forths versus actually having real good communication. And lots of times that's coming from, I'm trying to win. And we see that in many relationships where people are trying to win versus resolve the issue. And in this case, he's trying to win. And maybe in some sense, he feels a little, I don't know what, he came up on the platform to cease the level of care or platform that the dear brother Ron was extending me. Well, and to me, it seems like he came up because he felt like they wasn't dealing with me. So he was going to deal with me. And he does it 2 times before this ends. I'm asking the brother, can he be clear for me? And he, wait, bro, wait. He's very excited. He's very triggered. He's very hyper aroused, and he's in war mode. This is a symptom of trauma of some sort, of hurt or some pain of some sort, which creates, as some people say, some people become hostile. Some people have hatred, but really the type of hatred, typically, it really is like an internalization of hatred It's not really about the person there. It's the unresolved issues the person has within them. Was not playing. Hold on. Hold on. Let me make sure. Oh man, it's playing. I'm playing this whole time. Y'all can't hear me? Hey, cuz you can't hear that? I can't hear you. Are y'all saying we can hear you? Could you hear the video clip though? You couldn't hear the could y'all hear the video clip? Oh man, I'm over here quiet. Okay, so where did it stop at? What was the last thing you heard?
I'll try to push that too.
But okay, I don't know what's the last thing you all heard. You know, last thing you heard, Brother Proper?
You've been loud and clear the whole time. I don't know.
Okay, it's saying they can't hear me at all. Dr. Dunn, we cannot hear anything. So you can't hear me at all. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna put in there. Can you let me see, you have been loud and clear the whole time on my end. Just can't hear what is being played. Okay. Can you hear me now? If y'all can hear me now, put ones in the chat.
You and Ella Sutton, y'all work hard now.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I get some more ones. We cannot hear him talk. Okay, let me go back then. All right. Thank y'all for let me stop sharing. Oh, let me see. Maybe I don't have it. Oh God, don't tell me. How far do I have to go back?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what happened. Okay, I see what happened. All right, let me. Y'all heard me breaking it down. Yeah. I'm just let me go back. Let me go back. Oh yeah, I see what happened.
It's gonna be fine because I'm gonna drop PhD in what now? I just asked it, and I'm not trying to make in 1928. I'm looking to change. People don't understand. Look, man, this really is a lineage, bro. I got my mom sitting here. She's 77 years.
This is what I was talking about when he said it's really a lineage, bro. This is really a lineage, bro. I got my mom sitting here.
Years old. I'm looking at a on my phone. My uncle passed in 1928. I'm looking at his obituary. Now my grandmother was born in 1900. Okay. Never said anything about Africa. Never said we was African. Never talked about Africa. Never was thinking about anything about Africa. But for some reason, my scholarship don't matter, do it? So I need to go to school for that. Do I need to go get a degree? Do I need to go get a degree in Afro-American studies to discuss about what my grandmother told me, or her mother told her? So we not into the 1800s.
What is it? The point you're making though?
I know, because see, we be saying that same thing when you talk.
No, I'm saying, I mean, you can ask that question.
But wait, you're gonna be fine because I'm gonna drop. Because like I said, see, a lot of people in the chat understand me, but when they hearing you, it sound like straight babble. It sounds like you're trying to, you're filibustering. You're talking about, but you know, really, it's coming from FBA. You think we don't hear that? Then you trying to go.
Say it again.
Wait, because you're gonna get opportunity.
No. I want to make sure I heard you,
bro. Wait, you talked a long time. You're gonna get an opportunity, and like I said, you double.
They were asking me questions. They were asking me.
Okay, I think some people are still saying they can't not hear the caller, but maybe you are on like replay mode. We can hear it now. We can hear you, but not the caller. I can hear it now. I'm thinking maybe referee, maybe you maybe a little delay on your end. Hopefully that's the case. All right, so let me continue.
Let me finish. It's double speak. And what it is, you convoluting almost everything you say, because that's really that convoluting talk and that stuff that you're saying, man. Look here, man. I ain't no way. It's no way in the world I would be listening to somebody like you and sit up there and listen 5 minutes.
Right. So that's the pain. You know, like if you realize, like, I'm really being gentle with this brother, and he's been coming. You know,
You so angry? What are you angry, brother?
Doesn't make any sense. And I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I'm 59 years old. I've been all over this world. I put my expertise. Now, maybe
again, he's 59 years of age, and he's been all over this world. He's 59 years of age, and he's been all over this world. Why is he building this case? Who challenged him? You know, why is he doing that? This person said, let me see. That caller did not understand what you were saying. That is why he called it doublespeak. That's yeah, I agree with that. But it's also that they have a lot of catechisms and FBA apologetics that they learn. Okay, Tika teaches in the building. I'm gonna add you to the stage, Sister Tika. Just, you know, as I play this, and you can come in whenever you want. I'm gonna play. So, all right.
maybe not my speaking, but like I said, I got a hell of a lot of.
Now he says he has all this, all that. Maybe not his speaking. There's something there, from my assessment, is that he has some kind of what is it called? It's called when insecurity about something going on in here. So he's pulling all these accomplishments out, but then he's honest, like, maybe not my speaking. In other words, he's probably saying my speaking can't match yours, because he says my speaking is babble, just fancy. Do I got to go to school to learn these words and all that babble type of thing, you know? So let me keep playing.
Why are we credentialing here? Why
can't be quiet?
I said, why are we credentialing here? He said, what? Be quiet. Like, he's talking to me as if I'm his child, and I haven't said anything to him aggressive. And to me, I understand that my dear brother's hurt. I don't know where it came from. So again, today is FBA. Today's title is FBA, a wound we haven't named. And again, I'm being real honest. This is not a joke. This is not a joking matter. There's a serious wound that we have to heal. A lot of our scholars and social scientists and historians and so our African-centered scholars and so on and so forth have been trying to do that work. I think it's essential that we continue this work. We continue to heal. I think in many instances we believe we've been further along, and it's maybe in some ways we were. But what Tariq Nasheed has done is actually, in many ways, infiltrated those spaces, hijacked the minds of people who were in those spaces, and now took them to nowhere. Let me continue.
See, I'm asking you, why are we credentialing? I never said I had a degree.
I'm asking, why are you credentialing, brother?
Ask some students to do, you can't do.
Say it again.
See, that's the problem. You're sitting up in a college, and
again, he talking about college and my students and all this.
Talk. So you don't want to talk. You don't want to just listen.
No, I'm saying why are we credentialing here? I'm asking you a question.
It's impossible for you to listen.
I'm asking, why are you credentialing, brother? That's all.
You can't do it.
I can't shut up, he's saying. So I'm supposed to just shut up as he sits there and berates me.
It's okay, I'll drop, bro. I'll drop.
But again, I understand my dear brother hurt. And so I'm trying my best to practice discipline.
Let's try to get some
he wasn't gonna work.
Order here.
Me sitting there listening to him.
Why did I upset you so much,
let's try to get a let's work on towards
it's convoluted.
Conversation.
Brother, the only thing I was sharing is that I was giving an analogy of why my perspective. You don't have to agree with it. My perspective is I would like to see us resolve our issues. I'm not saying the issues don't exist.
No, I think that's what we're doing, even with the
delineation.
Yeah, we're getting on cool because
this is what I said
this is the
earlier.
first time you said Lex earlier, right? Lex Sanchez came over here. Now these are people who I would probably never normally talk to or share a space with. Okay, but I'm able to drop differences, right? And even like at work, there's a woman that's into women. Like normally, I'm past. I'm not even talking to her. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing the bigger picture now, so I'm talking to them. So I feel like this is definitely doing that. And even within those red pill spaces, where that was big at one point, I think people
they're coming from
are coming out of that
all these
because they're looking at
spaces,
the women who they're talking to like that as their sisters, as their lineage. So I think that this is solving a lot of those problems.
It is. I can tell you, I can attest to that right now. Like I said,
earlier.
I've been in the red pill spaces. The majority of the men who are putting down the hate black women stuff, are FBA men who are involved in this delineation political process. Everybody else is a tether or a nerd. That's it. So, to kind of go back at the brother's point.
So the majority of the men are coming from these spaces where they were already hurting. They already was seeing our sisters as an issue. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got sisters coming from hurt spaces, they said. Then you got people coming from the pretendians, people who are out here trying their best to survive. And one thing about hurt, when you hurt and you haven't healed from your trauma, you create mythic, or you create characters, or you kind of, what is it called? You live in fantasies at times. You create fantasies to help you deal with the hard reality that you're not ready to face. So people often fantasize because it's a skill that you learn to deal with the rough conditions that you've undergone. And it's not a funny thing. It's not funny. I'm not being funny. I'm being serious. So then as you get older, you continue to operate from that space where you can create all types of fantasies and all types of mythology and all types of alternative universes and worlds and things that you live in, and think that you have even special powers and gifts. And I'm not saying we don't have certain gifts, but I'm saying, but there's a lot of fantasy that goes on. So these people coming from all these spaces, the spaces that he named, like the pretendians, and then you got the red pill community, and then you got all these different places where people are coming from. These are hurt communities. You come from a place where you really beating up on women and all this, and black sisters ain't this and black sisters ain't that. So you didn't heal. You just switched again over to another place to hurt other people. Maybe you wanted a woman, you got tired of being alone, or you wanted a man, you got tired of being alone. So you had to redirect that hurt and pain, externalize it on another group.
Point.
Like Myron Gaines?
Yeah, Myron Gaines. He a tether nerd. There you go. But so, like, to go back to the brother's point, the healthcare brother, the psychiatrist.
I'm the healthcare
bro. Who put this stuff in our community? You said white women. Well, who let them in the door? It wasn't Keisha, quote unquote. It was Caribbean women. And you can see this back in the day. Caribbean communist women let those people in. That's what happened.
This is him responding. This is him.
I don't understand exactly what you're saying. I'm not refuting it, but I don't know if
this is him responding to my claim that white feminists came in our community. Now, I've never done any research or stats or statistics to refute his claim, but I never saw this. I'm not disputing your claim, but I would like to see data I share with him. And listen.
Is that easy? I would need some type of sources and some how you and I'm saying how you're quantifying that as well. But I like to see that, and I'm not really again here to debate. I just
still haven't received it. Said I'm not here to debate. I didn't come in here to debate.
Stating my point. I'm going to land my plane. I'm sorry, my dear brother, that I frustrated you because I'm talking the way I talk. Pardon me, but I appreciate y'all again. I was going rock and roll a little earlier. I do appreciate y'all entertaining me. I appreciate the space and the grace. And
wait, before you hop off, I want to talk to that Marcus Garvey guy. I know he was romanticizing like a mug. I want to talk to him, and I promise you, I would be. I just need 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. Because I got like 3 questions that.
That's it. 3.
You got everybody over here thinking I'm some huckster, man.
I'm talking to the host again.
Look, man. Look, man. But you know, I get it though. I mean, I say, you know, you can't. You know, people gonna believe what they want to believe, but you know, just go
real quick.
That was my whole point of coming there to share. Look, I know, like, you, how are you gonna prove that I'm a huckster? Like that's gonna be a real hard task.
When you was asking that question, the reason why I was saying it was disingenuous, I wasn't trying to jump on you or nothing like that, bro. But sometimes when we having these conversations and when you see something, you gotta deal with it right then and there, because it'll get washed up. It'll get looked over. It'll get lost in the hoopla. So a lot of times we want to, just deal with it. But I want to ask you one more question.
So I guess because I gave him grace, his nervous system calmed a bit, and he was able to say, brother, I wasn't trying to jump. That was like somewhat of an apology. Now I can't remember where he goes next though. Let's see.
Before you go, and really this is the main point for me, and why this shit becomes so frustrating. There's a lineage of people in their own country have a right to distinguish themselves from everyone else.
Oh, is that the question?
That's the question.
You know what? I was really imagining. You said, do a people in their country have the right to distinguish themselves?
Right.
I would answer it directly and say yes.
Okay. So why does anybody have an issue with this FBA?
I don't think. See, the problem has nothing to do with that aspect. That's the only aspect. No. We've all agreed that there's an element out here that might be misrepresenting FBA.
I don't see. That's the thing. None of that has anything to do with it.
No. You got to.
And I'm being very just working with them. But I mean, because okay, let me just be real clear here. There might be an element that's adding to it. Whatever it is, it's too much. And FBA is too young to already have that dirty name. There's bots out here. In fact, I think the bots come from their leader. But I'm trying to reason with them, because when you're doing psychotherapy, sometimes you got to go into the person's fantasy. It's not about telling them what is wrong or right. And sometimes you go there with them. I mean, many times you have to go there with them, because my goal is not to tell them what's, again, right or wrong holistically. My point is to try to bring some unity to themselves and our community.
I understand though, when people, if they are the loudest voice in the room, people begin to believe that is
so are all Pan-Africans in agreement about Pan-African theories and ideologies?
No, listen to what I'm saying. Just like right now, right? Umar Johnson is the loudest voice, a major loud voice, right? And he calls himself a Pan-Africanist. So he's only one person, but he has a big microphone. And that's pretty much a lot of people's introduction. I'm talking about not you all. I'm talking about a lot of other people's introduction to Pan-Africanism.
I want to get back to
so they begin to believe that.
I'm talking.
Bro. Huh?
Right. We've actually heard from these people.
No. But we've actually heard from people FBA too. It might not be you, but we've also heard people from this. What did I say? Pan-Africanism.
And I'm getting ready to go into your example. Your example was constantly circle back around to FBA. It's almost like you can't say Pan-Africanism. And look,
Africans have the same negative feelings, but it's not the majority.
You definitely got a blind spot.
Oh, he came back, y'all. This the brother. All right, this the closing lap here. All right, y'all. He comes back, because when he thinks that his people ain't doing a good enough job, he got to get in there and show me how G he is.
Because listen, I'm listening to you. That's what I'm saying.
What's the blind spot?
I'm sitting here listening to you.
Let him break it down.
You constantly circle back around to FBA. It's almost like you can't say Pan-Africanism. And look,
hold on. I did say both sides. The brother just said both sides.
What I'm saying here is both sides, meaning that there's mud being thrown from multiple directions in our diaspora, in our from the continent. I'm not dismissing that this is a reality, that people are hurt on all sides.
On FBA.
No, I literally said.
He says that I didn't use the word Pan-African. And then he tells me that I brought up Umar Johnson. So then I said, oh, I did use the word Pan-African.
Hey, both sides, brothers. And I didn't say Pan-Africanism. Why would I say Pan-Africanism?
And I'm getting ready to go into your example. Your example was what was the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Look, FBA sees.
Oh yeah, I did use Pan-African. Matter of fact, I did.
But see, FBA sees through Dr. Umar. We make jokes about him. Almost all of us. But y'all can't see. But look, but see, you can't see through a bot. What I'm saying right now, listen, man. Look here. What I'm saying.
Are you the same brother from down south that's 59 years of age?
I'm listening to you.
Hold on. I'm asking you a question, bro.
I'm listening to you.
Bro. You've been coming real strong, bro.
So listen. So what happened was, he was saying, hold up. Okay, so someone earlier I heard say, then they'll proceed. And let me see, I saw it. I think Carrie said it. I think Carrie's the dear brother who's come on the come up before. Carrie, you can come back up too. I think you've been up before. I'm not sure if I'm following Carrie's post here completely, but the reality is they will proceed to talk about bots, whether or not I try to prove it wrong or not. I mean, they're going to do what they do, but you have to be tactical in the way that you approach people who are hurt. You got to pick what fights and what intervention might be the best intervention. I'm not coming here to tell people that this God don't exist or that. I mean, I got a lot of things I can just sit there and talk to people about and prove wrong. But my approach is to try to reach a place and get to a place of understanding, even if it's not them. Again, like I said, it's the listening audience. So now I go to bro to break it up a bit and show them, oh, okay, this is a different level of intervention it's about to happen now. So yeah, it's a different level of intervention is going to happen, because the reality is I could throw mud really well, but I'm not going to do that. So I did show him a little force here.
You don't need to come that damn strong with me, man.
This is a red herring.
Listen. But it is. Listen.
All of them against me, right? This is a red herring. It's this, is that, right?
What I'm saying is, like, this is why I don't really have too many people. When I get to my guests, I don't have, because they get sloppy. And
the panelists is even admitting that, the host, Ron, is saying, yeah, this is getting a little too sloppy. That's why I don't normally have these people up there. So they had quite a few people up there, all of them trying me in different ways. But again, this is where the intervention changes.
You become like other channels that doesn't work. When you look at the other channels,
Brother Ron,
they got no views
I'm
because
giving him grace, man. But he don't need to come that strong. He don't need to keep coming at me. I'm not arguing with that brother. He can talk. He can tone it down just a little bit. I'm not coming at him like that.
Man, look here. I'm gonna say this right here, and
now I see this bot thing coming back up in the chat, and I'll be honest, I can't say whether or not there's any bots involved. I could not honestly say that there's not any bots. Now I know the bots are regardless. Like the leader of this movement is already a con man. Whether or not there's bots that's also exacerbating the issue, I'm not sure. But with or without the bots, it's a fallacious, divisive movement. I mean, there's been evidence that people have used bots in other ways. Would I be naive to think that perhaps there couldn't be any bots? I wouldn't be that naive, because even if the system or the structure or the powers that be see that there's already something going on that's an infight, I wouldn't put it past them to exacerbate that. So I couldn't put that. I don't think any of you can speak to that with certitude. I mean, you can act like you know the answer, but the reality is you don't. Okay, somebody said, please someone explain to me why we can't both have our own identity as Black Americans and also celebrate African heritage and people. No one, Raven. I don't know. That's the question we have. You know, we already have an identity as African Americans, but they are anti-Pan-Africanists. See, this question is unless you're asking the FBA, and maybe that's who you're directing this towards. It's not people who call themselves Pan-Africanists or African Senate that have these arguments. It's some people who are African Senate and Pan-Africanists who fall victim to believing it's just that simple and that there's no malintent here, when there is malintent, ill intent, and nothing about the FBA movement. It's not an innocent movement. It's not a generic lineage label. It has an ideology. And if you go to the website, Raven, you will see Tariq Nasheed's website will tell you all types of parts of the ideology. And it's very anti-Pan-Africanist. In fact, it says on the website, Raven, that you can't do both of those. Raven, it says that. In fact, Raven, I'll put the link in the chat for you so we can talk about it. But if you just take a minute to go to Tariq Nasheed's website, and you'll see in their ideology, they are anti-Pan-Africanists in the structure of it. As Dr. Ball said the other day, in the very foundation of the foundational Black American doctrine, it tells you can't be both. On their website, they say you can only have allegiance to foundational Black American, even if you have parentage from America Black people and Caribbean Black people. So it says you have to choose one over the other. You can't be Pan-Africanist and also FBA. From their own website. And the leader and the creator of the very term FBA, Tariq Nasheed, said so. And it's on the website. Now, because we are so hurt, and many times we struggle with being able to see the fraud or the grift, we ask questions like that. I'm not sure if that's, which position you're coming from, but many people who come from that position that I could assume that you might be coming from, they ask questions like that because you haven't done enough research, and you think that somehow Tariq Nasheed and his followers are open to that when they're not, because most of us would say, oh yeah, it's cool, you can be African American or even FBA if you weren't also anti-Pan-Africanist and also anti-African or Caribbean or Black immigrant or what have you. So, I mean, and I feel sorry for those of us who are lost in these things, who think that you can be both. Like, it's a setup, and I think because I haven't gotten a response back, I'll throw it out there a little bit like Kaba Kamene. I think he's part of the confusion. I think he has to, at some point, really address this issue, because he's out there being used by Tariq, and maybe willfully used, because he has people thinking he's on different platforms saying that you can, like, acting as if he doesn't see this vitriol coming from FBA in the direction of even African American brothers and sisters and our Caribbean brothers and sisters and our continental African brothers and sisters. And as you all said today, the European brothers and sisters. But the brothers broke it down earlier that even the vitriol that they have for the brothers and sisters in the European nations, they still see that as an attack or on those from the Caribbean and Africa, because as he articulated, is that the majority of the people there, I don't know the stats there, but this is what he articulated, are from these places. Now, I know that anecdotally, I know that anecdotally, it makes sense. Are from the Caribbean islands and so on and so forth. And also Africa. That's been my experience as well. But I don't know much about that. But so anyway, that's why I'm assuming I don't hear much of them talking about Brits and so on and so forth. Oh boy, we got the team on here. Let me get through this video. I'm gonna bring y'all up. Hold up. Let me get through this last part. Let's go out with this bang right here. I'm gonna just let it play.
I said I'll go. I'm still gonna stand on what I'm saying.
I asked you a question. Is this the 59-year-old brother from down south? That's all I was asking you.
Yes. And
okay.
bottom line again. I look here. I've been on this earth long enough. I know what I'm listening to. I know what I'm doing, and I know I got plenty of credentials. I don't need to talk about them.
Brother, why are you caught up on credentials, brother? You seem traumatized by credentials.
I see yours.
He brought up credentials once again. I say, brother, you seem traumatized by credentials.
See how you keep talking? But you got yours all on. Yours is on the screen. But what I'm saying,
I asked him a question. He said, see how he talking? Like, I'm not supposed to talk. I would hate to see how if he has a wife, how he engages with her. I would hate to see how he engages with his children. Because that pain, that anger doesn't stop. You can't have that much anger and not take it out on somebody.
Bottom line is, what I hear from you.
Mine was on the screen because I teach a class on Zoom.
Exactly. And if I was sitting up in that class.
Exactly. What he's saying is that I have credentials behind my name on this screen, because when your name that you have that you sign in with Zoom has your whatever it is. I didn't even know it was up there because they don't put pictures up, and I wasn't even looking at the screen. But nonetheless, he's saying that maybe that's what triggered him, that he saw my name with letters behind it, and he couldn't get moved past it. Again, so it's that pain, that hurt, that disappointment. And I feel for that, because we've been played against each other on so many levels. Again, I don't even think his argument was more about FBA versus FBA versus Pan-Africanism and FBA versus Africans and all that. I think his hurt and pain and divisive thoughts in this particular case was a bit of all of that, plus the pain he has that this country has created, in a sense that you're a nobody unless you have these degrees, this paper, this white man stuff that he feel like he's gonna beat me up for having something that he would call the white man stuff, because it makes him feel better. And the entire time he's been setting up his own credentials. I'm 59 years old. I've been doing this very long time. You ain't got to tell me this. My mother said, like, all these different things. I've been to college. I know professors. I know. Okay, I think he's going to say it now.
Class, I would probably walk out, because
I was in your class. I would probably walk out. He said.
Everything that I do, and I've been sitting up in college. I know professors. I know professors. I know presidents of colleges. But I don't have to daggone bring up my credentials. I'm just being a regular guy.
You've been bringing up credentials since you've been talking. As soon as you come, I'm 59. I know this. I know that.
59 ain't no credential.
But that is a credential.
59 ain't no credential.
You are saying I'm older. You are stating your age. I've been on this earth longer.
Why you talking while I'm talking? Why you talking while I'm talking?
Because you I don't know what you have. You must have a problem. You have some type of issue with me that you're trying to figure out a problem why I'm the disingenuous brother. Look, you got to keep in mind, you the one calling me disingenuous.
Yeah, and I was trying to.
But have I said anything about you being disingenuous? Have I said anything about you? Why do I have to keep being disingenuous if I disagree?
I made the example,
brother, you have a problem with credentials.
I'm still trying to make the example. See, you the one that's, if you listen to yourself after this, you're going to hear yourself crashing out.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Brother, I understand you got a problem with people with credentials.
Why you still talking?
Brother, because I can, brother.
Are you going to let me finish?
Brother,
you know what I'm saying? You literally filibustering.
Brother.
You literally filibustering.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You have a blind spot for FBA.
What is the blind spot? Say
you
it.
Have a blind, listen, just like I said,
brother, articulate it then, brother.
Right, articulate.
Can you say it?
Look here.
Brother, you can't get words
I just
out.
made the example.
Brother, you can't. Can you complete a sentence without trying to attack me, brother?
I made the example.
Brother, you make no example, brother.
When I mentioned,
The only thing I hear is you're 59 years of age, and you've been this, and you know this, and I'm filibustering and all this
filibustering and rambling. And bottom line is, you know, you want all the respect to babble.
Brother, I understand. Brother, I understand that you can't understand me. Brother, I can't help that your intellect can't keep up.
Yeah, your intellect, psychology.
No, I said your intellect, brother,
science.
or the lack thereof.
Your junk science.
Okay, brother, I knew you was a pseudo.
Junk science. Because it ain't real. That Pan-African stuff you're talking about, that's why you're going back and forth. That's why we sick of that stuff. That's why we delineate.
Brother, you angry.
That's why we sick of that stuff. That's why we delineating. That is so indicative of the hurt and pain. He's being very clear. That's why we sick of that stuff. And listen,
brother, you angry, brother.
It doesn't make any sense,
brother.
You the angry one.
You angry.
He said, "You the angry one."
Brother, you've been trying to beat me up since I've been on here, man.
I said, you've been trying to beat me up since I've been on here, man.
Talking about Umar Johnson. But look here,
I agree with him about Umar Johnson. I'm the one that brought Umar Johnson up.
I agree with you about Umar. What's the problem?
We see through Umar.
He got a problem with me calling Umar out.
Umar Johnson.
Do you think I can't see through Umar?
You can't see through these bots because Pan-Africans can't see through them. Because they're always caping for Africa.
Brother, I'm sorry you heard.
Doing is sitting up here talking about.
Because Pan-Africans are always caping for Africa. See, this is how he sees it through his hurt lens.
FBA, you keep circling around.
I'm sorry somebody hurt you, brother.
Yeah, whatever, man.
And this is not just about him. This is about what's going on in our community. This hurt and pain is coming from a real place. Yeah, it's coming from a real place, and I think, you know, even in therapy, sometimes certain people, at certain times where you have to be more directive with them. And sometimes everybody you can't help because their hurt is so strong that they externalize everything on everybody else. This brother that came up and tried to degrade me, and if you listen to the build up in the process, he came in every time he thought that they were a bit too gentle. And although they called me nigga, excuse my language, when they came out, someone called me silly. Someone said, "Shut up, Dennis." This is all different people, by the way. "Shut up, Dennis." That's what he said. You know, he comes in and he asked me about my degrees and this and that.
It hurt my feelings.
Brother, somebody hurt you somewhere, man. It's not me, brother.
You don't want to hurt.
Somebody hurt.
So now I'm doing some reflecting of feelings. And you know, it's to be straight honest, it's a bit of reflecting of feelings and a little dig.
You brother, it's not me.
Dude, you running your mouth about
brother.
Nothing.
I must remind you of him. Do I remind you of him? Do I remind you of him? What did he do to you?
Bro,
what did he do to you? Brother, what did he do to you that you 59 years old and you got to keep saying your name? Do you feel like a man? Do you have to tell me your age every time and talk about somebody's credentials who never brought their credentials up? Brother.
Bet this right here. Bet this right here. When you got on, listen, when you got on, there was two dudes on here that Ron let on here. They were saying the same thing about you I was saying from the beginning.
Brother, it doesn't matter.
I know you don't. I know you don't. Both of them said you was talking crap. That's why they jumped on here.
You know people know what happened, right? Man, hang together. You know, like minds hang together.
Yeah, I know. See, that's where you really at.
Like minds hang together, brother. I can't help that. I can't help, brother. I can't help that babble to you. It's just words that you don't understand.
Yeah. I guess they didn't understand either because they had to stop you. But they were trying to be nice to you.
Yeah, they hang together.
All right, family, that's enough of that. I see that we got a few people who joined. I don't know if you all want to, if y'all had some words. I see a few people on the panel. Sister Tika, I can hear you.
Yeah.
You sound kind of far back, Sister Tika.
Am I far? Can you hear me now?
We'll bear with it.
Okay, because I have my heater on. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think you should traumatize yourself by entering into spaces like that.
Oh God, you care about me.
Yeah, I don't think you should. I think at some point in time we have to, you know, make sure to not cause undue harm to oneself. Um, I deal with this stuff all the time. As a matter of fact, today I was like, you know what, I need a break because you're not. And this is why I said that we're dealing with a cult. This is a cultism. You cannot rationalize with people who are in a cult. That is something that the fever has to break on its own. You may lead the horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. Quite frankly, what you're dealing with is a lot of people who are extremely broken. They're broken by America itself and what it means to be black in America. They can't figure out why historically, whether it be in the past, the present, or in the future, it seems like it's dire for black people here. And they're looking for someone to blame, right? They cannot blame anyone but the people who they are told to blame. Because quite frankly, we're not dealing with people who are able to critically think or analyze certain bits of information. And this is the truth. I mean, I'm a kind of person, you know, I grew up with a lot of sayings, like things my grandmother used to say to me, my mother used to say to me. One of the things that they used to say was, "Oh, what a disaster when the slave become the master." When you start taking on the belief system of the oppressor, then you become even worse than him. Okay, and the plantation system. The Buckra Massa was one thing, but everybody was scared of the headman because the headman was the black man, but he was trying to impress Buckra. So he would be even crueler. So this is what you're seeing, and I just want to, you know, because for me, I'm not as, you know, like I said, when it comes to certain things, my degree is in social science education. I'm degreed to teach this subject to secondary students. When I'm looking at people, when I'm looking at things, I am always looking at how it is that we arrive to the place that we are. And I always like to do analysis of things. What this is and what cleverly FBA has become, no matter what its initial intentions, we can't go back to the initial intentions because we are far beyond that now. Whatever this was supposed to be, which is supposed to be reparative, justice and a new acronym for people and all of that, we've gone far beyond that now. It has now been hijacked by a bunch of terrorists. Okay, the plane is no longer in the control of the captains. You have now been hijacked. So you can no longer say that this plane is going to be doing good things anymore. It's not going to be landing anywhere. It's about to crash somewhere. So let's be open and honest about that part. Whatever the good intention was, it has now been hijacked by the bad guys, right? Because we have to be open and honest. If you don't see the parallels between this and neo-Nazis, if you will, this and the triple K, because what did the triple K promise to the everyday ordinary whitey person? Nothing much. Socioeconomically, nothing much. But you know what it gave them? It gave them a sense of superiority. It gave them a sense of I am better than. At least I'm not. So what has happened to the fact that you have some disaffected people who happen to be black? How do you control those particular people? Well, you to give them this particular movement. All of the things that they use to their diatribe when it comes to other ethnically black people is reminiscent of alt-right behavior, tactics, and speech. This is not a coincidence. This is what it is. So whatever intention FBA had, that is gone. It's out the window.
Sister Tika, I just want to jump. I've been, like I said, I don't like to argue certain points, like just because. But I do want to say the FBA's intentions have always been this.
Okay.
Because you got to keep in mind, they came from, as the dear brother said earlier, ADOS. And ADOS was already doing this. Tariq Nasheed jumped on board with this already in motion. ADOS have fired up a lot now, even with their anti-African rhetoric to some degree. But FBA is really still perpetuating and pushing it strong.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can go into Yvette Cornell and her ties to John Tanton and how that all relates to
all of that,
the anti-immigrant sentiment, right? I can understand that. But when I'm talking about what FBA truly meant, I'm really talking about for the everyday black African American that was going after this particular idea. Ooh, a flag that's separate from the American flag that represents our ethnicity. Great, wonderful, right? What's that initially is what I'm speaking of. Now we're talking about this whole, they've completely gone. This is an alt-right organization for black people. End of story, all day, every day. There's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to do. They're calling black people monkeys. They're telling us to go back to Africa. They're telling us to go on the banana boat. They're doing all of the same things that were, tools of white supremacy, and now it's in blackface. And so with that being said, I just want people to understand that that's been the tactic all along. And I'm glad that somebody mentioned the whole red pill community, because whether it be pretendians, whether it be red pill, whether it be FBA, how do they all skew politically?
Say that again.
Whether it be pretendians, whether it be alt-right, whether it be FBA, whether it be the red pill movement, how do these people skew politically? Now, like Diddy used to say back in the day, bad boys behind this. You don't have to go too far to see who's the person pulling the strings here. And that's all I have to say when it comes to all of this. There's a reason why these very divisive bandwagons have been let loose into the black community. And it's all about fracturing us in every way possible. Fracturing our male-female relationships, fracturing our ties genetically and ancestrally to Africa, fracturing our solidarity with other groups of people who are racially black but ethnically different, destroying the very one thing that we've always had solidarity when it came to, which is infinitely what it was our blackness. Now the blackness has been redefined, hijacked, pulled apart, and you're being told that somebody told me the other day that I'm not black. As if African American is the only black that exists, which is untrue, which is just untrue. Racially, I'm a black person. I'm a descendant of Western Sub-Saharan African people that were trafficked into the Americas via the slave trade. Chattel slavery began in 1661 in Barbados.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It might not. You might not be touched by that, but I'm sorry for you and other people who have to experience that. But let me say, I'm sorry that we have to experience these things. You know what I mean? And it does, as this episode is titled FBA, a wound we haven't named, and hurt people will lash out to hurt people. And one of the things that they're hurt about is that they say that other groups of people, black African descended people across the globe don't identify with black. That is one of their arguments as well. So when one says they are black, then they then tell you you're not black. See, that's still coming from a very hurt place. They're saying, oh, they don't identify with us. And then when you say I do, then they say you want, then they tell you what you are and what you're not.
And I think because of the fact that they don't understand that when you're coming from a country that's majority black, you're already black. There's no need for you to emphasize your race. Everybody looks like you. And so when I am in the United States and a person that I know is African American asks me what I am, I'm going to say I'm Jamaican because you're asking me for the distinction of my ethnicity. You're not asking me about my race because we're both racially black. This is where the confusion kind of comes in because people don't understand or convolute the difference between race, nationality, and ethnicity. I think this is something very basic and elementary, but yet, you know, for some reason, it's hard for some people to comprehend.
And more than that, it's also about one thing you said that was clear. It's also not understanding the motives behind why you would answer in that way. Because when I've been hurt so bad, my mind looks for things to support the hurt and the threat. So I conceptualize that in a way that fit that this person's a threat to me and they don't want nothing to do with me.
Which is, I mean, for me personally speaking, I've been, like I said, I've been hearing so many things. I've been hearing so many things that about, you know, what people perceive as to what the immigrant experience is. And it's like no one seems to know, you know, or want to know what it is that immigrants actually go through. I've heard that we get loans and we get this and we get that. I mean, first of all, my immigrant experience, I came here when I was 9. Both my parents were college educated people. My mother was a teacher. My father was he was an educator that went into social work and then he went into finance. And when they got to the United States, the people told them that their degrees were worth nothing. And so both my parents had to go get their GEDs, right? And my father, who used to dress up in a suit and tie and, you know, the good shoes to go to work, in his friend's car to go to work, was working as a CNA. So did my mother. They worked 18 odd hours a day, 16, 18-hour days. You can't get a loan. You don't have any credit history. What are you talking about? Plus, you have an accent? Are you crazy? Which bank was going to give them money? My parents had to throw a partner, or what people call a susu, right? So that's how they got the money to do certain things. They saved up their money and they pooled their money with other people. That's how they got the down payment for the house and the car and all of that. It wasn't no bank loans. So I don't know what this weird experience people are talking about. I'm sure that there are people who emigrate with money, and that's great for them. But the vast majority of people come into this country and have to work extremely hard. And on top of it, it's like these overinflated numbers, I think, that people think that there are a whole bunch of Black immigrants in America. No, they're not. We only account for 9% of all immigrants. 9%. 9%. Have you ever had 9% of a piece of pizza? Or 9% of a piece of cake? Huh? What are we talking about? So we have to conceptualize these things to better understand. Look at the raw data and the raw numbers and take your emotions out of this. Because I think what's happening to Black immigrants is that we are receiving all the ire for America's failures when it comes to what should have been done as far as some sort of justice towards Black people, right? We are blamed and beat up for that. And this is not our fault. This is not something that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
There are only 5 million people in this country. We are 1.3% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
That does not pose any immediate threat or danger to anyone.
Mm.
That's the size of, I don't even know if Miami has more people than there are black immigrants in this country.
Sister Tika, I appreciate you sharing this. I think it's really needed. I do. I'm just thinking about how it lands on the other side. And in me being around immigrants for my entire life, black immigrants. I don't even like if I like the term, to be honest with you. I'm using it for the sake of conversation. But I mean, it does help us communicate. But my black brothers and sisters who migrate here, I haven't seen any of that either. I haven't seen these. I mean, in fact, I wish we would. My wife would be a first generation. I wish when we started our restaurant, we didn't have to use our own hard-earned funds. And I'm not sure if you know. Like what I'm saying is, I've been with my wife since I was 16.
Hmm.
She's from the same island you're from, I believe. She's from St. Elizabeth.
Oh, okay. I'm from Montego.
Okay, yeah, you told me last time. So it's like, please tell me where we can get some of these loans from. Please tell me where. Look, I want to use some. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
please.
I don't know where these. Like I said, it's like all of these mythological things that people keep talking about. It's like, no.
But it's the trauma, and I want to be real, like, and I get it. So the trauma that begets trauma. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, not just for you, Sister Tika, but for our brothers and sisters who have to experience these myths and people acting out these mythologies through their emotions and behaviors because they really believe these things. And it's sad, Sister Tika, because I think as you started off earlier, you spoke about where it's coming from. And you said it's coming from, this American experience that we have had here. And many of us have had experiences wherever we are. And I think that we do poor statistics. You say give them the raw data. I'm sorry. We got to start with the aggregate. The raw data I'm sorry. The raw data, what's that going to do? That's just going to pull out a number, say, ha ha, I told you. One right here. I got what you meant though. But definitely we need to be like, we have to, and I appreciate your care. I do. And I always feel and I'm always real fast paced on these shows. And I hear your heart and your concern and your effort. And even if you came and worried about me, I'm gonna be okay. I won't do that a lot, Sister Tika, I promise you. But I won't ever say I won't do it again. But it's so few far in between. And to be honest, I am not really trying to. I mean, maybe, hopefully, if someone I'm talking to can wake up, that's fine, and maybe they will. So, and I don't, honestly, as a therapist, people may not know you deal with that level of aggression even from clients. They might not call you stupid, but some will. But it's not a typical thing, You might get somebody who brought their, in a clinical sense, their narcissistic partner there, and they will try their best. But that's very rare. And FBA is rare, to be honest with you. FBA is rare, but like you said on another platform, on another episode here, is that we don't want it to metastasize, right? And that's why it's essential that we get that we do counter this thing. Sister Tika, I see Brother KP in here, and you can hang on. I mean, we can cross talk. I'm not really into the linear thing. I'm kind of African.
Okay, no problem.
So if you want to stick around, and my brother Shabazz, and anybody can jump up and talk, because I think we can give each other the floor a bit. KP, what it is?
Yo, peace, Tika, peace, Dr. Winkler, Shabazz in the back, everybody who's listening. Before I come up on these public, I like to say, Peace to everyone identifying as FBA as well. You are our brothers and sisters, even if you deny us so-called tethers. That's just a point of where we start. And let me just say, it's hard to follow Tika because she was just dropping mega bombs, in her in her testimony. Well, I don't even know if that's the right word, but in everything that she just said. I endorse almost everything she just said. The only reason I came up was to, again, remind you, Dr. Winkler, how valuable this service is. I know it may seem futile initially, right? And many of the people who are being engaged probably won't learn in the immediacy, right? Or right away. But eventually, they're going to reflect upon that time when someone approached them, someone confronted them with another view. And hopefully at that point, they will be able to at least admit to themselves the error in their ways. And I'm saying that not to say that I know everything or my view is the unquestionable correct view. I'm not. I'm still learning every single day about who we are as a so-called black people in the Western Hemisphere, and we're all in this fight struggling to be free. That said, the only point that I wanted to address was when the brother Golden State was up here a little while back, and he was spitting pure fire. So if you're still listening, Golden State, props to you, 100%. But I only wanted to drop one response to that, and that is, it's not an equal. He was with that. What's the word? He was representing a position of we don't know one another. We don't know one another. I wanted to comment on that a little bit, just to suggest that in actuality, and Tika was touching upon this as well. It's not that we don't know each other. People from the Caribbean, especially in the modern age of radio and TV and internet and social media, they know a lot about African Americans, Black Americans, right? Not all of it is true. Not all of it is 100% correct. But the Caribbean is a zone that is dominated by American media. And people in the Caribbean consume everything, positive and negative, about Black America. So when you were in Africa in the 80s, when African Americans were watching the Cosby Show in Different World, people in the Caribbean were watching that too. But when we look at it the other way around, many African Americans, I don't want to speak for all, but many African Americans are totally unaware of what was happening in the Black diaspora. So this is where this gives room for a lot of the invective, charged ignorance that you hear being manipulated by the likes of a Tariq Nasheed and others like FBA Ron. So I just wanted to add that to Brother Golden State's fire. He was burning fire tonight. And so I want to give him his props, but I just want him to reflect upon that little part of it. And that's it. That's it.
Brother KP, are you near Baltimore?
Yeah. I was just in Baltimore today, actually.
Because I heard you say your daughter. I'm not sure if your daughter traveled to come here or.
Well, no. Yeah. My daughter goes to Morgan State. And she was just in DC today. There was an NAA. Well, I'm giving away too much information, but
no, I'm just trying to figure out how close are you close proximity.
I'm in DC.
Okay.
But I'm a transplant from Miami. Most of my life I grew up in Miami.
You sound like this brother.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I'm a Broward girl.
Okay, well, I'm way at the bottom. You know about Homestead? I was from down there, Richmond Heights, Perrine, Cutler Ridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I always try to, not always, but many times I try to also utilize some metaphor to kind of give people an example of how things kind of work. So if you're from like Jamaica, everybody from Kingston, right? So if you're from United States, you probably everybody from New York. So New York City, most of the world until recently, most of the world, but even I'm talking about the United States for sure, knew about New York City, and in the world even. But in America, Black Americans, let's stick with Black America. We knew a lot about New York through hip hop and television and all this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they might know some things about little things about us and all that type of thing. But people from New York typically don't really have to think much about other people.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have to think about other people. And sometimes they think that they said you got New York. Some people use this analogy. And then you have Jersey, then you have the country. Everything else is country. New York City, New Jersey, and everything is the southern South, you know, and everybody's a misfit and not up to their level. Now that's, you know, but really, a lot of times people from New York have that type of disposition. And I'm saying the United States, we have that disposition as well. I would even say people on the East Coast have that disposition when it comes to the West Coast and Central times and all that. Everybody on the East Coast think their time. East Coast people don't have to deal with time things because everything is typically an East Coast time. so we don't even have to consider the time thing or putting Central Standard Time or Western Standard Time because there's this it's this
ethnocentric American exceptionalism. But hey, the global South got something to say, quoting Dre from Outkast. The global South got something to say.
Yeah, so it's this.
I get the metaphor.
Ethnocentrism, right? Yeah. It's this coastism, coast centrism, and city centrism and state centrism. So you don't have to really know a lot about other people, but they know everything about you. So I'm saying that in some degree, so to some degree, people from other places, sometimes New York people get on their nerves. I'm just using speak. Say it again. Yeah, sometimes they just because they don't have to know about you, but you know all about them, and they think that they're better. And I mean, this is how we got to understand it goes both ways, but also understand that these things happen because, it's like sometimes people start hating. You know, because you get all the attention. So I'm saying that that's not above human behavior and emotions and all that either. So I'm just saying we have to look at this thing as Sister Tika was sharing, whether or not she agrees with my analogies, is that we have to look at this thing as in a more nuanced way. And I appreciate you to bringing those narratives, those stories, those experiences in there.
Let me just add one more thing because everything you said is 100. And again, I want to reiterate a lot of the information and programming that Black diasporans get is filled with white supremacist notions of who Black Americans are, right? So the encounter with actual native-born African Americans who claim to have ancestry that goes back, centuries, right, is a learning experience. And oftentimes it's a transformative experience, right? Because you have to wrestle with what you perceive versus what is real and what's going on. Like Sister Tika talked about encountering racism coming from a society that was, dominated by Afro-Caribbean people or Black people, right? This is an adjustment, right? But this is not to say that Black Caribbean folks come with perhaps a negative bias. They've just, they've eaten a lot of fast food, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to depictions of what America is, and this leads to sometimes some miscommunications. I'm not trying to make any excuses because there are ethnic biases and differences in certain people. Yeah. All that is normal though within, human cultures and the competition for space and power and influence and all that.
So there's no there's no difference. Like statistically, people this happens within a certain range. It happens. It's normal. It is normal. I mean, let's keep it a buck. We have to normalize hate a little bit. I'm talking about not hate, but people feel that if they feel overlooked, as they sometimes they become a little envious.
Yeah, Baltimore, DC don't get along. You know what I mean?
They don't get along, but
not in all.
We learn it. But and then the sister says, I think sister, I'm not sure. Brother sister says all the islanders are Jamaican.
Yeah, there you go. That's a subject right there.
That's a big issue right there.
You know, but it's like all Korean, all Asians are Chinese to us.
Mm-hmm. And that causes issues in the diaspora as well, because within Caribbean people, they don't like that. They know that if they're from St. Lucia, they don't want to be called Jamaican.
Right.
So that's the first thing that people go to, because
So, Sister Tika, real quick, before I forget, someone's asking for your channel. I think, is it Research Rebels, or you have another channel?
You can find me on Research Rebels. Matter of fact, we actually have another oh my gosh, an interview tomorrow with Dr. Lakeisha David, who is a anthropologist, and she has a program that she started called gosh,
They didn't invite me yet, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm too familiar. I'm too familiar over here. I'm gonna have to step back. Brother KP, you told me to continue, but Tika don't invite me yet.
Oh my gosh, no, listen, please. Listen, we have to, trust me, it's in the works. It's in the works.
All right.
Yeah, it's in the works.
I'm hating over here. I'm hating.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do
You just got one.
You bringing who? Who you bringing?
You just got one more subscriber.
Dr. Asai, I listened to the Research Rebels. Their interviews, they interviewed a lot of great people. Dr. Gerald Horn, Dr. Gerald Ball as well, right? And so, I think you would be great, because they actually need somebody to give the type of analysis that you can give, especially from I'm talking about from a mental standpoint of being able to diagnose the fact that you've been able to pick up that these people have real trauma, right? And we can tell that this is an internet cult. People have been radicalized. I don't think a great conversation for you, and I'm not in the Research Rebels, would be the discussion of Black people being radicalized online, right? It's become a major problem, right? Black radicalization on the internet.
Let me make sure Sister Tika gets her channel out. He has a new channel.
Yeah, my channel, my personal channel is Tika Teaches You the Truth. I just got a new computer, so I don't have my logo on there, but it's Tika Teaches You the Truth.
Tika Teaches You the Truth, you say?
And it's on YouTube here. I don't have a lot of followers, so if you want to follow me, great. I'm supposed to be creating more content for here, but I'm mainly on TikTok. Most people know me from TikTok. I'm over there.
Tika, but who's told you to go do it? I told you to get on YouTube when I was on TikTok. I told you to get on there.
I just want to let people know this. You're back on, because KP did say something. I'm gonna let y'all hash it out a little while. Brother Cuz, make sure you can come here if you want to. Oh, you're not on the stage. I brought you back up on the stage. If you want to jump in there, Cuz, I'm going to jump out of here so that I can go to the bathroom. And put you right there.
No problem. We understand. I understand. You've been here for a while.
And Tika, can you drop the link in the chat so we can just click on it? And I just subscribed to Research Rebels, so I want to definitely lock you in on the other one.
No problem. Let me do that now. Hold on. Okay.
How you doing, brother?
All right, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the ones you guys are talking about, like New York and stuff. But I'm in California, man. I'm in Northern California. I'm from the Bay Area, man. I'm from Oakland, California, man. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knows, man. When people think about the Bay Area, they think about LA. And so I laugh at some of the folks from the Bay Area, because I got first cousins down in LA, so I don't have this, the rivalry that some of the Northern California people, for the most part, have with Southern California people, and a lot of SoCal people don't think about NoCal people, other than when the Giants, I'm talking about from a baseball standpoint, from the San Francisco Giants and the Dodgers play each other. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but anyway, when they play each other in baseball, right? So, but Northern California does feel a type of way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Southern California, because Southern California gets all the attention, even though San Francisco, more times than not, is considered usually one of the top two cities to visit in the world, right? And so, so it's I don't know, it's just wild, but yeah. It's always some type of issue or rivalry or people felt like they're being left out. But I would say that in California, I don't think that we feel that New York is or the East Coast is better than us at all.
No. People don't think that they are better. It's the thing. Like nobody from Baltimore think nobody better than them. Baltimore think they're the toughest city out.
Oh, I know. I've been challenged by Baltimore dudes before, man. I got homies out there. He said, "Man, I'll stop you." I said, "Bro, okay." I got a boxing background, bro.
Like my cousin, he from down in Richmond. And I'm certain they don't feel that either. But we do know that New York, there is a feeling towards New York. It might not be you. There's also a feeling to California for people too. There's feelings to Chicago, especially those two.
Now, you want to talk about California though? Before you go, real quick, about when it comes to California, we're always the ire of jokes and stuff like that. But I said I don't know why. And it's always somebody coming from a state like Missouri, not to take a shot at Missouri or Arkansas or someplace like that. I'm like, you said you guys are failing. Like, how are we failing when we're paying for your state? I mean, it's like we got the world's fourth largest economy.
But what you're saying is proving my point. You said how even absolutely. You in your level of ethno-Californiaism, how did you of all people, how dare you, Missouri? What did you say, Wyoming or something? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, I said Missouri, man. It's all the same, babe. I mean, we all consider follow the country.
See, now my St. Louis people are hurt. You see what happened? Sexy Red is gonna come for you.
Hey, well, I gotta quote my guy Uncle Luke from Miami. Cowards in Compton get sprayed in Dade, but I don't really mean that.
You see,
I'm old school. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing back in the early '90s. Remember?
So we
didn't even think about that at all, man. See, yeah, but.
Well, hey, them boys had to step light when they came down to Miami now in the early '90s.
See, we having the wars. See it. Look, but we still love each other. It's kind of like the football team. It's like the football team. Yeah. But some of us
this is called. But no, you know what I'm saying. But you know what? Remember, this remind me of when this FBA sister sat there and was interviewing James. What is his name? Fishback. James Fishback, right? And he sat there and he called the Byron Donalds a slave and a tether. I don't care how much of a coon that Byron Donalds is. Ain't no white man gonna call any black man a slave or a tether to my face. Ain't gonna happen ever. Sister, I don't know who you are, but you should really reconsider what you were doing there. You really should be ashamed that you allowed that man to say that to your face and you thought it was funny and you thought it was cool and you were excited that you were being recognized, white people were recognizing that you were disrespecting someone black. I don't care how much of a disrespectful clown that Byron Donalds is, but I would still never let anybody white disrespect that brother, even though I don't like him. That's just a code that I have. Nobody from who is not black can disrespect black people to me. It's just I can't allow that. It won't even sit well with me. I wouldn't even be able to look myself in the mirror if I sat there and did something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just I'm white. I can't speak for everybody else. But you can't disrespect black people to me. I don't care you can't say nothing about no African, about no Caribbean, about no Afro-Latino, and damn sure can't say nothing about my damn ethnic group. So nobody. This is family. When we have issues with each other, we're talking about eternal things that we can work out.
Absolutely. That's what I always say, and I say it to even our brothers and sisters fighting in these manosphere and femisphere wars. That hold up. We cannot get confused about, because even I teach my students a lot of times I have to go through a whole process. Like, look, never ever confuse structural oppression for the inner diversity and infighting, or these things. We have to figure those things out. But there's a enemy that is like really a oppressive force that is even creating the conditions to have us pointing the fingers at one another.
Yeah, but Tika, if we can hone back on what Tika led with, she pointed out that this is really a response that can only be understood via the super oppression that all black people face within the United States. And I'm talking about FBA. FBA is formed out of the a self-defensive impulse, but the targeting is wrong. The targeting is wrong, and it's not backed up by history.
But that's what FBA. I'm speaking about the overall oppression globally, and also in our different nations and spaces. But then also in these different nations and spaces, how it's not just FBA fighting each other, men and women. You go anywhere where black people are, and they're gonna be doing similar things. Like I think even one of the great, I'm not gonna stay here long, but one of the gravest things we do, even as people come from other places and spaces, is that we're not really being fair. What I mean by that is, if you immigrate to another space, likely you are part of those people who have a lot of drive, but we left a lot of people at home.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's definitely a class dimension when it comes to who black immigrants are, whether they be from the continent, whether they be from the Caribbean, and they're not necessarily they're not necessarily representing the full, array of people back home, back so-called home. You know what I'm saying? But then, I mean, if you look at Caribbean people, there's this transnational mobility is almost part of what it means to be a Caribbean person. Caribbean people don't just stay locked in one island for generation to generation. They move to where the jobs are, opportunities are, and people just do that naturally. I'm not trying to, essentialize Black Caribbean folk,
but it's difficult still.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of people stuck there who want to move to mobilize.
Absolutely.
But can I point out one of the structural issues, and I want to point out, because this is FBA always talking about black immigrants or immigrants as a whole. Can we talk about the fact that we have our government, which goes around and destabilizing countries in the Caribbean, in Latin America, and Africa, and around the world, right? We have a place that used to be called School of Americas, now known as the Western Hemisphere Institute of Security Council, right? And so what they do is train dictators, right? They create propaganda papers, right? They come up with creative ways to create dissent, right? Or to stir up things in countries. We saw that happen recently in Iran, which is a mess right now, right? So this is what this country does. And then we get upset when people leave those regions and come here when they're waiting at the border trying to apply for asylum, even though your government is responsible for those people being at the door.
Yeah, and this is the confusion. That's what I want to say. This is the confusion, and you almost have to you have to really understand this very complex stuff, and we got to find a way to reach out people. That's all I got to say. We got to find a way to reach out people, because most people aren't on these. Aren't educating themselves in these ways, and don't even know about a lot of these things. Although we say we know, I know we think we know, but we don't know to the level, degree that even you all are speaking on this panel. And sometimes hurt and pain can have you look past all the facts and data. Many times. What I want to do is close out now, though. I think I heard Sister Tika, since you brought so much of that energy, as far as I think I'm calling it like real experience in a sense versus us talking all this structural stuff. I don't know if you want to go to the structural now, but anyway, can you give us some closing words?
Well, I think what we need to understand is that there has to be some redress when it comes to Black people globally. I think what we are really...
Sister Tika, I think it's kind of difficult to hear you.
Oh, you can't... Can you
hear sound me? Muffled a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Is it clearer?
Better. It's better.
A little bit better.
Is it clearer? And maybe having like connection issues. Is it good now?
You can go. I'll let you know.
Okay. When it comes to this, I think what needs to happen universally and across the board is the addressing of certain issues when it comes to us as far as historically. And I think that maybe what the point of Cali was Golden State was hitting on which is basically this. It's the fact that we have been oppressed by the same oppressors, but we don't know the history of that oppression when it comes to each other. We haven't shared each other's historic, like the memory of slavery with one another, or what happened to us during those particular times. I've heard people tell me that, oh, there wasn't any slavery in the Caribbean. And I'm like, excuse me? What? You know, or the even, you don't know how painful it is to people to tell you that you're not black. Excuse me? Like, these are the things that people don't understand or don't know, and I think we're not even aware of what happened to the continent and the colonization that took place there. And what happens is that we use the same racist tropes that are used by the oppressor against one another in order to hurt one another with. And quite frankly, I think if we knew each other's history, and we're able to reflect upon each other's history, just talk to one another in that sense, we will have a better understanding of one another and how not to violate one another with certain things.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we have to learn how to talk to each other. And the reality, what I'm sharing is much of what you saw me go over there and do, we have to learn. I'm talking about even us who want to have these conversations, is we have to learn that that's part of what we up against, and not allow ourselves to get derailed in the process.
Brother, I'm in the trenches. I'm over there. You got the nice person. Imagine having a panel of 6 of those people at you.
Well, Tika, that's what I'm saying. So, so you know the care and love you share with me. We just we got to do the self-care. You told me don't go over there, but look, but yeah, I mean, but this is what we up against. And one of the things you brought up, Sister Tika, that kind of it prompted something in my mind, is that if they tell you that you're not black, that's almost like self-sabotaging. I know I spoke to it earlier, but when I heard you restate it again, it's kind of like a person who doesn't want to be abandoned, who tells a person to get out, or a person who doesn't want to get fired from their job, so they quit, or a person who don't want the person to break up from the relationship, so they break up first. But the reality is they just don't want to be abandoned, hurt, left. They want to have the power. So now, instead of you telling them that you are black, so that they won't be hurt, they say, no, you ain't even black. But they're also upset that you say you're not black. Well, not that you say you're not black, but their fear is that you won't acknowledge or
you won't attach yourself to that
blackness. Yeah.
And I get it. And that goes to what somebody said before when it comes to classism and elitism, and that's another thing that we have to talk about. There are the people who are immigrating over to, you have to understand that a lot of these people are, and this is why there's such a brain drain in a lot of countries, because when the United States is allocating people to bring here, they're bringing people that are degreed, that have a lot of credentials behind them or training behind them. So it's when you get into these situations, you have the nomenclature already. When you're applying for a job and you're speaking to the hiring manager, if you're a person who's already had a college education, you're able to speak to that person on a different, like my English teacher used to tell me, you have to learn what is called cultural literary terms, ways of understanding. When you're going into, and that's one of the things too that people don't understand. People are able to navigate spaces based on cultural experience and also what they know and also how they learn. I don't know how else to put it, but that's why some people tend to have maybe a step up in some instances, because of the fact that they are going into spaces and places where they have a like education that's above and beyond, or not above and beyond, but they're able to communicate with people on that specific level. There's a classism there. I'm not gonna lie about that. It is true. And so sometimes when we're looking at that, or people feel slighted by certain immigrant communities, we have to understand that they don't even like folks in their own country. That's the truth. And I know quite a few Jamaicans like that. I'm not gonna lie to nobody, that are very hoity-toity and eat with the proper spoon and fork and things.
We call them uptown. They uptown.
Uptown people. The uptown people. Yes.
You talking about them elected leaders, especially those more like ambiguous types of black folks in Jamaica?
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not strictly held to a color line. But go ahead, Tika. Sorry for that. I interrupted.
It's not really like a color line either. I mean, yes, you do have more of those folks who certain situations, if you will. But I will say that it does go into what you call a classism or elitism, because remember, in white supremacy, what the remnants of it are, especially if you're in a completely black nation, what do you then use to create that hierarchy? Well, you use economics, and then you use all of the other things that are akin to racism, like featureism, texturism, colorism. Those become the big boogeymen in the society, right? And especially classism in the Caribbean and on the continent. That's very rampant. So I think that that's why I say that as far as African Americans and Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latinos, and people on the continent, there needs to be more conversation had with one another so that you can understand others' perspectives. I'll give you an example. I'll shut up because I know I'm going to be long-winded.
Well, you're defining Pan-Africanism. That is exactly the Pan-African project. But go ahead.
But someone, African American sister, said it to me one day. She was like, every time I meet a Dominican, they tell me that they ain't black, they ain't black, they ain't black, they ain't black. And I said, do you understand why they're telling you that? Because if you knew that, because for me, I don't take offense to it. I feel sorry for you because you are, you have strayed away from your African ancestry, or you don't wish to recognize it. But I understand the socioeconomic implications that it has for you there in your society. And I know that it's coming from a history, right? I know it's coming from the fact that you had a, blanquimento, that their society is based off of the casta system, if you will, where not only was it about your race or what you look like, but also because of the fact that gave you positions in society, that your admixture alone wasn't just it, but it afforded you the ability to get certain jobs within society. And that's the reason why Nino Black is a thing, because there was no economic benefit or social benefit to being black. So once you understand that, then you won't take such offense to when these people are telling you, oh, me no black, because it was not something that was advantageous for them. Even when they look and appear to be as black as you, right? They will turn around and tell you, oh, no, you're black. So you black like this, I black like this. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's the reason why they're pushing away from it, because for some of them, there is no socioeconomic benefit to identifying with your African ancestry. And that's the crux of the matter. And I'm not going to say all either. This is for some, because there are quite a lot of our brothers and sisters who are Afro-Latino that do recognize and are proud of their African ancestry. Yeah. That's it.
Hey, quick question, Doc. Quick question. You titled this show "A Wound," right? Or what's the title? The title is "A Wound We Haven't Named." Do you have any working ideas or theories about what to name this wound that we've been discussing tonight? What would you call that wound?
I don't know. Maybe he got up and went to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
I was just gonna
go ahead.
respond to what Chica said, right? With not with all, but I'm talking about some of the ones who say, "Me no black." You say that, but love to say the N-word. But I'm just saying, man. It's like, me no black. Don't say me. I want you to say no to stand the N-word. I mean that would be nice for you to drop that. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. Not trying to redirect the conversation, but I'm just saying, you're gonna say me no black, drop the N-word. That's all I'm saying.
I think I had some tech difficulties. I don't know if the conversation kind of went to another direction, but I appreciate all that I was hearing from Sister Tika and everybody else. If anybody else have any closing words, so we can get up out of here.
I'll be quick. Thanks for letting me come on. And like I said, the best thing we could do is maybe put together some type of panel. I don't know if somebody can put together a panel. I thought about doing something, but maybe if somebody even more bigger reach than me would be even better. Just get Afro Latinos, and maybe that's not put together today, but over time we get Afro Latinos, Afro Caribbeans, and Black Americans together, and kind of Africans together, and let's just talk. Let's talk so we can build, and because somebody who may not have planned to watch it may come across it later, or even sometime that day, and may get a different worldview, and may decide not to join FBA. May decide that maybe FBA is not the answer because maybe I've been misled. And I think it would be good for people to see it, to see all of us speaking together and having cultural exchange, and also coming up with solutions and maybe plans to put together some, things that or some type of a work plan where we can actually start to create things in our communities. And I mean, I don't know if you guys want to call it Pan-Africanism. If you want to call me a Pan-African, I don't care. Yeah, I don't get bothered by being connected to Africa. I am someone of African descent. I have taken DNA tests. I have cousins in Africa. I don't have any hate towards Black people. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't look at Black people as my enemy. I see a whole continent over there who has been nothing but trauma, and their descendants who have been wreaking hell and havoc on the world. So we got Black people are the least of our problems. They're not going around destabilizing countries and conquering other parts of the world, and they're just trying to keep these people from destroying them or bothering them right now. Right now, we got Trump who has put troops on the ground in Nigeria and has just threatened Mali to drop Russia or to get rid of Russia, to try to reduce Russia's influence on that country, and the United States want to come in instead. So basically, they're getting ready to threaten Mali and let them know, look, we want to build a base or something back in the Sahel, and we want you to do what we say. So right now, we're sitting here watching once again the United States get involved in other countries because they're trying to conquer the world, because they're concerned that we're going to have a multipolar world, and also we also know that the West is trying to do whatever it can to prevent the rise of sub-Saharan Africa. It's inevitable, but they're trying to slow it down because they're trying to maintain power as much as they can, because as long as they control the world's resources, they will be in control. And so that's why I don't understand why any Black American would want to delineate away from Black folks when we need to be trying to make sure that continent gets built up. So that's how we are going to be able to get respect here. The reason Black people don't get respect around the world is because the continent is not really able to defend itself right now. But if the continent is able to defend itself and it's able to have power and to be able to have a real say on the world stage, you're going to have to respect Africa at that point. So you should want Africa to be powerful, because if Africa's powerful, you'll be powerful, and it won't matter where you are in the world.
100%, my bro. Dr. Winkler, I don't know if you heard the question that I posed to you.
No.
All right, and this may be one way you might want to close out. But you titled the show FBA, A Wound We Haven't Named.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you probably have a working theory or a name for the wound. Have you developed a theory around that wound?
I could have. I might have it in my file.
That might be the next published paper, my bro, or maybe even a book.
Can I recall it at the moment?
Okay.
I'm certain I have a theory somewhere.
All right.
Can I recall it at 11:25 after being here from 7?
I'm suggesting that might be original research for you, or a book project, or something that deserves a monograph length, extrapolation.
I think Dr. Meyer had asked me to put something together about that as well. Something similar. Maybe not be the same exact thing. But definitely it's something I've been thinking about. But I think in my conceptualizations, I probably say tomorrow, you know what, I did have a term. But definitely it's definitely there. That wound is there. And maybe I have it, maybe I don't, but maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and say, oh, I have it, or I had it. But if not, that is something I've been considering as far as putting together some paper or sort. I'm actually writing a book now. I said, dang, maybe I should hold off on that a little while longer and write something specific to FBA. And,
I think you should. I think you should write about it from a psychological standpoint for real. It makes sense because you can approach it from an academic standpoint and tie it to the rise of Black internet culture, right? Which is what we're seeing right now. We've seen multiple. We're talking about Black internet culture, which is the problem, right? Whether it's I'm not trying to disrespect the Hebrew Israelite brothers, the Moorish brothers, right? Who we've seen get in trouble. The internet Indians who we've seen get in trouble, right? And I'm concerned about the ADOS, FBA, Solon groups, who some of them also have Pretendian and Moorish leanings as well, right? Who may end up getting in trouble.
Another one. I don't know if y'all saw my little clip on Judge Joe Brown, but Judge Joe Brown, what do we call him?
Oh, he's a coon.
Oh, hold up.
Old fool.
I said,
y'all nice.
I got a clip. I said, Judge Joe Brown know everything. He'd have been in everybody's house. He'd have been in everybody's bedroom. He smoked the spliff with Huey P. Newton. He was in Kamala's dorm when she.
And he loves Donald Trump. He loves Donald Trump.
And he knows my cousin's proper perspective. He's been quiet today, but nonetheless, maybe he has some closing out words too. He did a breakdown on the old Judge Joe Brown, and I think he and I are supposed to do something together. Yes. If you haven't really been over the Proper Perspectives channel as of yet, you definitely want to get over there because he has excellent breakdown. Brother Proper.
Thank you. Judge Joe Brown is really a clown. I'm sorry. Like he's going off the history of him of his law degree and the history of his judgeship, which I don't even think he still has anymore. I think they got disabled or retired. And in other professions, when they do that to you, that's like the soft slap on the hand, like, we're not gonna rob you of your thing, but we better not hear that you actually still practicing. But he do a whole lot of clownness, but he is a hardcore MAGA Trump supporter.
Yes, he is.
Once you realize that, then it's real easy to walk away from a conversation from him. Like, well, I already know what this is. The clown circus. The clowns in the circus got to be a clown. That's what it really is. But this idea. Well, I will say one other thing I wanted to say. Yeah, I have been quiet. I have been extremely tired. But I would like to get some people together for a panel type conversation or whatnot. I had put in the chat. That's why we need to team up, because they stay online kicking out all of their talking points and all of their false narratives, and they stay online for 4-5 hours a day. Just in some business circles, they would call it a lemon squeeze, where you get it all out. You get all of the bitter and the sour out. Although with a lemon squeeze, once you get it all squeezed out, you're supposed to be able to make some lemonade with it, and they ain't making no lemonade. They just keep squeezing and keep getting bitter, more bitter, more bitter. But we do need to have some more panel type things to provide more comprehensive
information and attacks and debunks to all of the garbage that they spewing out there.
Yeah,
I'll chill.
Yeah, I like
I would say this real quick. I think that you guys, I mean, if you can find more scholars, elite level people like all of you guys, to discuss that, I think it'll be great, man. And like I said, I would definitely love to tune in. I would, because I like to defer to people who are smarter than me, and I appreciate that. But I would love for y'all to be able to bring in. I would love listening to high level intellectual conversations. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys can bring in more people, more scholars, more people, academics or in academia, and college graduates, I think it's very important, right? And we can have these people have discussions about how problematic FBA is. I think it would be very, very extremely productive. And so hopefully that you guys can do that. Yeah.
That and beyond, because I just want to remind that what you're proposing is not anything new. There's a long tradition of these exchanges within the Black community, going all the way back to the plantation where we used to sneak away at night, all the way through after abolition, where the church became a focal point for the kind of planning and strategization and exchange of sometimes competing ideas, all the way through the birth of communication. And I'm talking about something that we all could remember. BET used to have these conversations. Going before that, Tony Brown's Journal. Going before that, in the 70s, there were these panels, groups that that existed all the way back. So one of the distinct factors of today's Black culture is the absence in a formal setting of that kind of exchange network, and a lot of that has shifted over to the internet, where it's no hold bar, no rules, no credential, nothing, and that's where a lot of just bad information sometimes spreads. So yeah.
Also though, I guess I would like to make a space just for us. And when I say us, I'm saying you all, right?
Institute of the Black World, IBW.
You went real far. I'm thinking about just like maybe Saturdays or something be dedicated towards these discussions. Maybe y'all can get some good pictures or something. We'll keep it like this, or y'all come on the screen with y'all ready. Y'all put your cologne on and your makeup, but or y'all we can stay off and do this. But I'm saying, like, even today, I'm like, man, we on here for a long time. But the reality is, those people be on those things for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is also where like yes, the scholars, because I think we need to do the thing, right? But I mean, I'm listening to your scholarship as well, just to be clear. But also what I'm saying is just have that space where I pop up on here and other people do similar things. But I mean, if you say, look, Saturdays, we're gonna chit chat. And we're going to talk about these things. And we're going to share these stories like Tika shared, and like KP shares, and like Golden State shares, and like Brother Shabazz, and like other brothers and sisters who can come in and share their stories, because we talking about a lot of anecdotes, right? And I appreciate like Sister Tika earlier sharing like about this class of folk that I'm just calling miseducated. So I understand that throughout my understanding, and most of us have read enough and understand enough. That we have a miseducated or class element everywhere. So the thing that is pervasive though out here is where they highlight those people, and we do our best. I'm saying even like Sister Tika and myself and other people that say, they do exist. Those people do exist, and they'll turn around and say, no, y'all never talk about those people. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Then when they hear you say it, what they say is, why y'all acting like y'all don't understand? Oh, we never said that. We understand that this miseducation, this internalized racism or classism, whatever the hell you want to call it, it exists. And this self-hate exists. I'm just calling it trauma. It exists. We have been traumatized. And in fact, I do understand why the brother was so hurt. I felt his trauma when he saw some letters behind my name. Like, I'm not leading with that, but I am compassionate for the brother, because I'm not one of those people who but there are people who get a little letters behind the name and they want to be, as one of my mentors, you say they smell special air. But that again is part of the trauma. You smell special air because you don't feel good about yourself. You don't your self-concept is distorted. So you need some external validation. It's getting late, y'all. It's getting late. External validation. Well, so we need all these things. So what I'm saying is we are hurt and we have to heal. So I put FBA, a wound we haven't named, but we have to heal on so many levels from all directions. That classism, that elitism, whatever you want to call it. Racism, colorism. I hear some people say, and I get it. Some people say colorism is just another name for racism. All right, don't forget. See, because when we start talking about colorism, they're like, let's talk about the colorism on the islands. Well, yeah, let's help our Caribbean brothers and sisters understand that colorism is also a form of racism. It's come from someplace. That classism has come from someplace. You want to be closer to those who have oppressed you. You want to feel like you are of value. You know what I mean? So now sometimes they'll get in the way. So look, I can have empathy and understanding, but that don't mean I won't smack you if I need to protect myself.
Well, you know that they do that, right? I mean, FBAs, right? If they see because there are Black Americans, right, who quote unquote look like a continental African, even though there's a lot of continental Africans who are here that we can't even tell is the difference between us and Black Americans, because continental Africans are the most phenotypically diverse people on Earth, and we have those faces here in Black America. Which is why it's stupid, because when FBA thinks of, or when some FBA, because I'm not going to do the generalization, right? When some FBA think is that they think of Africans, they think of bone in the nose, right? They think of like Africans have to have like these extremely strong features that stand out, right? The sick kid, right? With quote unquote, that's being fed by a white woman and stuff like that. That's what they expect. And so when they see some Black folks who are dark skinned and quote unquote have what they would consider African features, then they're going to assume that they're a tether, right? You have to be a tether because, we could tell what a Black American looks like. I said, no, some Black Americans have higher levels of European admixture, right? But some don't. And we have a lot of Black folks, in the deep South, right? We even have some in places like California and New York as well, right? Quote unquote African Americans who are going to present like a Nigerian, like somebody from the Congo, right? You know what I mean?
No, they're everywhere. Let's get that. Let's see. You doing the whole calendar. No, they're everywhere. I mean, and the thing is, where we get confused. See, the cultural things is kind of like what helps us see that, like, there's some cultural nuance that we pick up on and we think is phenotypical. like literally, like there's brothers and sisters, like you said, that look exactly like they're from Nigeria, but because the way they move, the way they posture themselves, the way they talk, and all of that, the way that they dress themselves, and all these type of things, these cultural nuances, kind of have us thinking that they're not African, or they are African, or because the whole high cheekbones and all that, and all these things that we talk about.
But what happens when those Nigerians and stuff grow up here and got the accent, and you don't know if they are? You can't tell.
Because when you start, the culture actually would transform who you like. Even the phenotype is not even as pervasive as that for many. I'm not gonna say all. That it is not as pervasive as the way that you move, the way you cut your hair, the way you dress, the way you talk. Because we can say, well, you know what? People on the East Coast kind of got this talk and this walk, and people on the West Coast got this talk and this walk, and down south and up south the same way. We can see, like, we know a lot of our Caribbeans, especially Jamaican brothers and sisters, got this certain, especially brothers, they got this little walk, when they got it's just a little bit more of this going on. You know what I'm saying? And then you think a brother is from Jamaica or the Caribbean, but they really Rastafarian, but they was born in Baltimore City. And you might think they're Ethiopian or something. because they got a whole different disposition because they have adopted a culture, even if it's Rastafarianism. So what I'm saying, it is interesting. Let me just say that. And so yeah, I appreciate it. But okay, so we had KP. You close out KP. Oh, let me say this because Mr. K said, all right, I'm gonna ask y'all this and we're gonna be out. What's the deal with the real Dana? Y'all tell me what's happening because I don't know nothing about real Dana like that. I look at it and sometimes Judge Brown, I mean, she brings them on and I don't know. I can't look at it. I can't stomach it. I really can't stomach Tariq either. So I really don't know much about Tariq. I mean, I hear him for 5 minutes, like I told the brother a few weeks ago on the show, and I just know it's enough to just have my stomach turning. So, does anybody have any understanding of this real Dana that Mr. K is saying? I think he thinks is an essential conversation to have. All right.
I don't know too much about her. I watched one video. I did my little debunk. I'm not impressed with her or him, but I haven't watched her channel to say. I heard a couple of things once where people were saying that they think that she was sort of like setting him up just to use him, to get the bona fides and credentials, for her own channel. But that was just people in another chat that was just saying stuff. And again, I didn't spend enough time to really study her because the couple of times I dipped in, it was all pro-MAGA, pro-Republican, pro-conservative, pro-Trump, and I'm like, I'm not sticking around for this.
I can't handle it, brother. That's what I can't handle it. Like, not right now. I mean, maybe one day I'll do a project, but Mr. K, make sure you, Mr. K doing some good work. I don't know if Mr. K can come on and speak with the camera off or what have you. But I think you probably be a great addition or what have you. But nonetheless, was anybody else have any closing words, like less than a minute? All right.
The only thing I would say is, man, keep building on this, man, because like I say, you provide, and it's already been said, but you're providing a unique but needed dimension and placing this within the context of people that have been harmed and healing from trauma. That approach is needed in addition to the historical counter argument to FBA and ADOS to try to solve this and get back on this Black unity thing. And why is it so important? Because if there's a lesson that can be taken from the last half of the 20th century, is that Black unity works. We saw it work in ending apartheid in South Africa. Pan-Africanism had everything to do with that. We saw it work in, before that, in the independence movements across Africa, the Caribbean. We saw it work right here in the United States. FBA tends to believe that the civil rights movement was all native-born African Americans, but there were lots of Black diasporans on the front lines too. And there's a history there, and there's knowledge that can be gained by studying the cooperation of Black peoples in a global fight against white supremacy. And so keep doing what you're doing, Doc. It's important.
Keep doing what you're doing because, you're like the person that says, they're like, so where's the evidence of that Pan-Africanism has done anything? And you just, articulate. Well, let me change my word because it's too late for me to pronounce it. You articulate it very well. And the word I think I'm really looking for, you do it very fluidly. So I appreciate that as well. Let's keep doing the work. Keep tuning in and all those different things. And I will talk to you all. And I appreciate it. Until next time, we're going to say peace and power.
Peace.
When you claim your happiness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it. Become a part of it. Embrace it. When you claim your Africanness, you're gonna get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're gonna get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim your African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.